Welcome to episode 1487 of Toronto Mic'd, proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery who believes in supporting communities, good times, and brewing amazing beer. Order online for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. The Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team. The best baseball in the city outside the dome. We're live at Christie Pits. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. The Advantaged Investor Podcast from Raymond James Canada. Valuable perspective for Canadian investors who want to remain knowledgeable, informed, and focused on long-term success. Season 6 of Yes, We Are Open, an award-winning Moneris podcast hosted by FOTM Al Grego. And Ridley Funeral Home, the official funeral home of Toronto Maple Leafs baseball. We're live from Christie Pits for the Toronto Maple Leafs home opener. Joining me to kick things off, the legend that is Stephen Brunt. Accept that compliment, Stephen. How you doing?
Thank you, Mike. That's delightful. Thank you for putting on the pipe band and everything for me. I appreciate that. I appreciate the ceremony.
Describe what just happened, what you see here, because we are staring into the outfield, and then later we'll talk about that scene when the great Peter Gross was walking across the field. I got goosebumps. But what do we see here?
See, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one that should have the Chariots of Fire music behind it. This is. Well, we've just had the opening ceremonies, the multiple first pitches, the singing of the anthem. We have a pipe band. We have dignitaries, and it's a beautiful.
My kids are on the field. They were part of this ceremony.
Your kids are waving at you. That's
waving
great.
To Jarvis. Hi, Jarvis. Hi, Morgan. There they are. And Peter, say hello.
Hello.
Peter, have we been arrested yet for the last episode of Toronto Mic'd? Like, did you get a?
We pushed the envelope, didn't we?
Okay, so. Anyway, Steven's like, what are we talking about? But we recorded an illegal episode of Toronto Mic'd, and I had to edit that significantly in order to keep myself out of the pen here. But Peter, Steven and I were watching you walk across the field, and we had goosebumps. Like that moment when you're walking across the fields here at Christie Pits, that was something special.
I've got a very special physicality, don't I?
Honestly,
the way I walk.
I hope they have video of that. Steven?
That's yes.
We'll
coming out of the cornfield.
If we make a documentary about this day, I want Stephen Brunt to narrate it. But Stephen, thanks for coming here. It's just amazing to see you. We haven't seen each other since Tom Wilson's awesome musical.
Beautiful Scars.
What did you think?
I loved it. I loved it. I'm biased. I do. I love Tom's music, and it is an amazing story. And I thought they captured Tom as well as Tom's a character from fiction, right? It's kind of hard to play Tom because Tom's larger than life. But
wow.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Are you a Triumph fan?
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yes.
Okay, I was worried for a moment there. Okay, so Peter, I'll get back to you. I want to see if Rik Emmett will pop on this mic. And we're working on a chair for the guy, but don't go too far. And you see the cables? It took a long time to get electricity here. If you step on those cables and unplug us, I'm going to shake my fist at you like this.
Will that be the end of my FOTM career?
Well, just you don't want to find out what's going to happen. But I don't have a chair for the legendary Rik Emmett right now.
That's all right.
Okay, so give him your headphones, and then, Stephen, we're going to talk to Rik Emmett for a moment.
I got bumped for Rik Emmett.
And don't go, I have questions for you, Rick. So no one's going to unplug me, right?
Many times myself.
And Rick, I feel awful. I'm working on getting another chair. Do you know where there's a chair by any chance?
No,
okay.
I was not on the chair committee.
Do you want my chair and I'll stand?
No, that's fine. I can crouch.
Blair Paikin, would you let him sit on your lap and you crouch down like
I'm in the ready position.
That's how we're driving home.
For a ground ball here at the ball game.
Okay, so thank you to Blair Paikin. Did Blair Paikin pick you up and deliver you to the field today?
Yes, and thank him for that. Yes, I thank him for that. But I thank no one for the fact that I got hijacked by this whole singing the anthem thing.
Wait, did you sing the anthem?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I sang the first couple of words, and then I dropped the mic and I kept singing, but I was panicking because I told them I'm a little upset right now. I'm gonna have to bring this up with ownership because I asked you. Let's tell the listenership. I said, Rik Emmett, would you sing the anthem? And you said no. I did. Yeah.
And I went back to the owner of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I said, Rik Emmett will be there to be honored, as you should be, and make sure you're taken care of. If you're going to get
for Schmata.
Yeah. Did you get some swag?
No. Well,
I'll make sure you do.
I got the ball I threw. And I felt like maybe I was supposed to autograph it and give it to the catcher, but then I went, no, I'm taking it. I want to.
I'm going to make sure you're taken care of. Yeah. But
so when you dropped the mic, though, it wasn't like we're not talking about drop the mic.
No.
You actually dropped the mic, right?
I
because it kind of got quiet over here.
I put it behind my back and down to the side because I couldn't remember the French, and I thought this will be an international incident.
Rik, I feel terrible.
Yeah.
That you were put in that position because I was assured you were not going to be singing the national anthem. Like, this is not on me. I want our relationship to be okay.
I heard you on the phone tell Blair, and Blair told me, okay, but I'm doing it. I did it.
Amazing. Okay. So Wendel Clark is here, Rik. That's almost like I wish I had more microphones.
I know.
Because I do need to talk to you.
Wendel doesn't crouch for anybody, though.
We're going to get a third chair. And we got to get you on as well. Rik Emmett did the anthem?
Yeah.
You're a good sport.
Rod Black.
So Rod's the guy to blame.
He owes me a few now.
It wasn't in the script, but thank you. Okay, that's amazing that you did that.
You want somebody else on the mic now?
Well, I don't want you to disappear.
Oh, okay.
I got to make sure you take care of it. I want you to come back. I need Wendel Clark for a moment.
Yes.
Introduce me so I can say hi and bye.
Oh, yeah, okay. So lots of people are going to share these mics. Here. But nobody unplugs me. That's the only thing, Mr. Emmett, the legend that is Rik Emmett from Triumph. So this is an owner of the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team. This is Keith Stein. Keith, you're making your Toronto mic debut. How are you doing?
You got to get much closer.
Lean in, Keith.
Yeah. I'm so excited to be here.
There you go.
Do you know that I don't know how long I've known Toronto Mike, but this is my first time on air with you guys.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to meeting the great Peter Gross. I haven't met Peter yet. Where is
right there? He's right there. He's warming up. He's in the bullpen.
Peter Gross is here, Mr. Stein.
But Mike, let's get Wendel on too.
Yeah, put Wendel on. Now, I couldn't find a third chair, so Keith, if you have any pull, you can get us a chair.
Wendell's got to come.
But nobody can unplug.
Yeah, no, we got to be really careful. Lean in. There you go.
Okay. I feel like if the Captain Clark is here, I need to give up my chair. Wendel, you want my chair?
Yeah. Oh, no, here we go. Does that mean I'm older?
Yeah, we'll get in there, buddy. All right, Mr. Brunt, you're going to help me out here. I'm a little intimidated here. I'm going to be down on all fours here. This is like all heart. Do you want him?
You got to stop over planning this thing, Mike. You know, it's just kind of loosen up a bit.
Hold on, who's taking the photos? Here.
Hey, well,
you narrate this,
good
Mr. Brunt. Okay, hold on. I'm posing for a photo. Mark Hebscher's taking a. Yeah, I'm getting green grass stain. Will never come out. Wendel, welcome to Toronto, Mike. Good to meet you, man.
Very good.
Right on that. Good to be here.
Get right on that thing.
We're good.
Wendel, what did you do? Did they honor you? What did you do? Did you throw in a pitch?
No, they said I get to throw a baseball. So I said, come on down. I'm coming to throw a baseball.
Did you throw a strike?
I know I was low outside.
I got a question.
Wendel, did you play baseball in Sask when you were a kid?
Yeah, no, I played baseball until there was no. It's almost like in our era in Saskatchewan, in small towns, as soon as you run out of the pitchers, the game changed. So then I went from baseball to really high-end fastball. So we had a lot of fastball. Rob Scheller from the Toronto area came out. Those were the paid guys that come out and play in Saskatoon. Joey Kosher and I played on the Rempel Brothers in Saskatoon. And so, yeah, loved baseball. My dad loved baseball. And so that was, you grew up in Saskatchewan. It's hockey in the winter, baseball in the summer, and then when you retire, everybody curls.
Gordie Howe was a good baseball player, I
Gordie
believe,
was,
right?
yeah.
Could we take a moment, gentlemen? I think I have the ideal two people on the microphone for this. Wendel, I got Stephen Brunt on the mic. Ron Ellis passed away.
Yeah.
I got Steve Paikin dropping by later in this recording. Ron Ellis, his favorite Maple Leaf of all time. Wendel, I'm giving you that honor for me, my friend. I miss Ron Ellis' career, but would you guys mind saying a word or two about the late, great Ron Ellis?
Well, Ron, one of the first guys I had met, and then Ron being with the Hall for when I retired, and then when I basically retired from the game, Ron was still playing the alumni game, so I got to skate with Ron. And I think when I started skating, so I'd have been mid-30s skating. I think Ron was a better skater when I went on the ice, and he was late 50s, early
skate.
60s,
Yeah,
and he could.
skate.
Ron, and other than being the nicest guy in the world, he was one of the best skaters. I know a lot of people don't realize how good a skater Ron Ellis was, and back in the early days.
Wow. Okay, we lost a great one there. Again, Paikin later is going to pay some more respect.
And as Wendel said, like, nicest guy in the world. Man, and you're gonna hear that over and over again when I talk about Ronnie Ellis.
Is this crowd for me, Stephen? I'm just looking here. They're all for Toronto Mike, I think. It's quite a crowd.
Seem to be. You seem to have attracted.
But why do they all have number 17 Leaf jerseys with them? I don't know. Wendel, I have a question because I've only got you for a couple minutes. Everybody else needs your time. But Are you aware of the YouTube compilation called All Heart, set to Hero of the Day by Metallica?
Yeah.
Rick, Toronto Mike.
Yeah, no, how
aware are you of this?
I don't know who did it, but it gets a lot of playtime, I guess.
I wake up every morning, I brush my teeth, I watch All Heart. I'm telling you, I just wanted to let you know that All Heart to Hero of the Day by Metallica, that's daily viewing for me. Basically the greatest moments of Wendel's career. Man, amazing. Wendel, I hope I get a photo with you later, but you just made your Toronto Mike debut, so I'm now going to call you an FOTM. That's friend of Toronto Mike. This was an absolute honor, man. Thanks so much.
Hey, good seeing you.
Thank you. Okay, don't unplug us, Mr. Clark. Okay, Captain Clark here, and we got a guy here now. Rick, you got to be right on that mic. And Stephen, I do have questions if you don't disappear.
It's okay.
All right.
I'm enjoying this.
This is exciting here. So you got to be right on that mic, and I want to say hello to Captain Rik Vaive. How you doing, Rick?
I'm fantastic.
Rick, do you have any memory of being on my show via Zoom? Do you remember being on Toronto Mike? This was a Zoom we had. I'm dying to know if you remember this at all.
I believe I do.
You can fake it, because it'll make me feel better.
No, I remember.
Okay. How you doing?
I'm good. A little bit of a trek in here from Niagara Falls today with all the traffic and all the construction that's going on. But other than that.
Are you a Triumph fan? It's okay if you're not, but
I'm a country music fan.
Country music fan.
I like country.
Okay, because Rik Emmett was coming in from Burlington, and I sent Blair Packham to Burlington to drive him in here. I should have sent him to pick you up as well.
Yeah, well, no, I was okay. I got here a little bit late, later than I was supposed to, but I mean, I left at 11 o'clock, got here at 1:20, so it shouldn't take 2 hours and 20 minutes to get here.
No, it's not good right
You
now.
came from the Hammer, right, Stephen?
Yeah, it wasn't that great. It's a mess right now.
Should I feel guilty about all of this? I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
I'm just excited I have electricity here. Stephen, you have right now, you have Rik Vaive, the first Maple Leaf to score 50 goals. And this season, I was funny, there's a Great Lakes beer for Joe Bowen called Holy Mackinac Lager, and I was at this event, and it was just before the final game, I think, and he was all excited to call goal number 70 for Austin Matthews. But what questions do you have any questions for Rik Vaive here?
Well, Rick, there's a lot of I don't know how deep do you want to go Leaf wise here, Mike? Do we want to actually talk about this stuff?
Yeah,
it's a nice summer day, like it's over, right? It's fine, but. Did you watch the press conference this week and with Pelly, the new boss there, and talking about what they're going to do, what they're not going to do? Did you kind of take any of that in?
I saw that, and I kind of liked it. I think kind of went from where we believe in our core four or whatever you want to call them to anything. We're open to anything, and I kind of like that because sometimes you got to make tough decisions in order to win. And, we haven't seen that a whole lot in the last 15 years or so. And I thought that was excellent. I thought that, they care, they want to win, and they're going to do whatever they need to do to win. If that means moving a couple of the big guys, that might happen.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that's the only way you can unblock things, right? It's I'm not sure they've got any choice on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I like the fact that they said nothing is off the table.
Now, may I spend a moment here, maybe a word or two, some real talk about Bob Cole?
Well, yeah, I love Bob. I had the great privilege of doing a book with him. Got to know him really well. Went fishing with him. To me, he's with a nod to Danny Gallivan, who is pretty damn good, to say the least. Bob's the guy, And what Bob brought to the game, his ability to anticipate stuff, to build the excitement. I think he was a master of his craft. He's a funny guy, crusty, didn't like everybody, had a lot of weird quirks and habits. And I guarantee you, to his dying breath, he thought he should still be calling those games on hockey night instead of somebody else. He didn't surrender easily, and that's one of the things I love about Bob. Do you ever cross paths with him? Right?
Oh, I've met Bob many, many times, and of course, I'm from PEI. He's a Newfoundlander, so he always had time to stop and talk to me, and we'd talk about different things. But Bob was to me anyway, he was a great guy. who love the game, and one of the best broadcasters probably ever.
He's my favorite. My all-time favorite.
Yeah, I didn't listen to the guys way back, but Bob Cole, I'm sure he called quite a few of my goals, so
darn right.
That's good.
Darn right he did.
Rick, tell us what you did here today at this home opener for the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team here. We should paint a better picture, right? Stephen Brunt, you're the man who does that best, but this is a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day, and this is such an amazing place. Christie Pits is a real jewel in this city, and the fact that you can come up and sit on a hillside for free and watch a really good ball game and eat a hot dog, and it's been going on for a long, long time. It's amazing. It's amazing that this exists.
And we should just point out where we are. We're in the outfield, and we're basically staring at the game as it takes place here. And I feel like we might have a home run hit our tent here, so we could.
Be a pretty good shot if one hits this tent.
It's true. But Rick, what did you do this morning, or for this ceremony?
Well, we had to throw a pitch.
Did you throw a strike?
I think I did, yeah.
Good for you.
But, I'm looking at this place, and it's unbelievable. You look at the hills behind the diamond, and, you probably couldn't get any better than this in the city of Toronto. This is an awesome venue.
Yeah, it is unique, Yeah. And this neighborhood, I used to live in this neighborhood at once upon a time, and the idea that you could just kind of wander over here on a weekend afternoon and park yourself, and somebody come up with a coffee can and ask for a donation every once in a while. But that was, the only mandatory investment, right? It's, and the baseball's good. Intercounty baseball's, it's been some really good guys come through this league.
Absolutely, and Rob Butler, who manages a team now, he played many good years in this league, and his brother Rich was a member of the team as well. Rob, of course, I think he's the only Canadian to win a World Series for a Canadian team. I think that's a fact.
I think that's true, yes.
I think that's true. By the way, I want to say thanks to Brad Jones from Ridley Funeral Home, the official funeral home of Toronto Maple Leafs baseball. He found me a chair, so I don't know how he did that. If this was a guy,
they got a lot of chairs at funeral homes. The guy. They always have chairs.
But I have a chair. Oh, amazing. Okay, Rick, I feel like I've hogged a lot of your time here, but I'm going to take a selfie with you, and you're going to do a big smile there, because you've been on Toronto, Mike, but we've never met till right now. This is a big moment for me. You can do play-by-play, Stephen, if you like.
Okay, this is Mike is very good at these selfies. They're always very they're always very flattering, I find.
Rick, amazing. Thanks so much. Come by later, but when you do leave, though, don't unplug me. It was very difficult to secure electricity for this.
I won't unplug you, but I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Anytime, come by. Now that we've got a chair for you. I can't believe it. Wendel Clark and the great Steve Paikin. In a moment, my friend. Don't go too far here. Thank you, Rick. Amazing. Rik Vaive, first 50-goal scorer in Toronto Maple Leafs history. Yeah, come on in and tell us who you are. Okay. So, my friend, you are Jeremy Diamond. That name is perfect for a perfect name for a baseball guy. So, right on that mic, though. Yeah, get you right in on that thing. Sorry. Jeremy, so tell me, you're the chair of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum?
Yeah, excited to be here. This is pure Canadian baseball out here at Christie Pits, so excited to celebrate, have a booth here showing some of our artifacts and telling stories about the 150-year-plus history of baseball in Canada.
Can you confirm the fun fact I just dropped about Rob Butler being the first Canadian to win a World Series ring with a Canadian team?
That's correct, yeah, and we're always happy to see Rob, and I know I've had more than 2 or 3 people around today saying, when's Rob getting into the Hall of Fame? So we'll do our
question. How do we make that? How do we expedite? How is he not in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, well, we have a selection process. We've had a nominations process. He's been nominated. He's on the ballot, and he gets votes. So he has a number of more years still on the ballot. So hopefully this will help his candidacy over the next number of years.
So, Jeremy, have you met the great Stephen Brunt?
Yes. I have, yeah. Steve and I have worked together talking about sports connection to the First World War, and he's done a great job helping out the Hall of Fame with some of our promotion and promo videos over the years. So it's always great to see about.
And we have newly minted Canadian Baseball Hall of Famer Paul Godfrey here today, too. So
we do.
He's in the class of 24.
Well overdue, I think we can all agree on that. So we're so happy to have him and Rob coming up on June 15th for Induction Day up in St. Mary's.
Amazing. St. Mary's, beautiful. Now, is Stephen Brunt in this Hall of Fame?
Stephen, are you in the Hall of Fame?
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Now that is an oversight.
You've given me more work to do. I got to get Rob in. I got to get Steven in.
Well, Steven first.
Yeah.
He's older.
Yeah, well.
Thanks. Yeah, that's
there you
on the
go.
clock, right? Yeah, thanks.
Chair of the board, I have power. I don't know if I have that much power, but we'll see.
Amazing. That's amazing that, so Paul Godfrey, we got to somehow get him on these mics very shortly. But so Jeremy.
He's very shy, Mike. I'm not sure you got him.
And then I'm just going to have Stephen Brunt ask him all the questions.
There you go.
Since he's ready to go here. So tell me a little bit, just a little bit about the highlights here. I had a gentleman named Adam Bunch on the show.
Yeah, I know Adam well.
You know Adam, okay.
Yeah, of course.
We were running down some of the interesting characters who played for the Toronto Maple Leafs through the years. Of course, the famous story we always talk about is when they played at Hanlon's Point.
Mm-hmm.
And some guy named George Herman something. George Herman
heard
Ruth.
of him. Yep.
They called him Babe.
Mm-hmm.
I've read about him in these books. He hits his first professional home run against the Leafs, and that ball lands in Lake Ontario, and we're still looking for it.
Still looking for it. Yeah, I don't know what condition it would be in now if they ever found it, but I believe, and Adam may have told you this, but I believe that there was a diving crew down there trying to find it a number of years ago, and I don't think that they did.
Well, when they make the documentary about finding the ball, it better be narrated by Stephen Brunt.
Yeah. I can make that happen.
Yeah,
me and Adam can make that happen.
That you can make happen.
Yeah, I can make that happen. So the Hall of Fame in St. Mary's, about an hour and a bit outside of Toronto, close to Stratford. Our induction ceremonies every year on Father's Day weekend. I know we're Mother's Day today,
right.
But Father's Day weekend, Russell Martin, Paul Godfrey, a number of others going to be coming up for induction on Saturday, June 15th. Free event, 1,000 people under a tent, and we celebrate the great game in Canada and all that it has to offer. So love for everybody to come up.
Father's Day weekend, you said?
Father's Day weekend, so June 15th, the Saturday of Father's Day weekend.
That's amazing. And let me know if there's anything like what wheels I need to grease or whatever to get Brunt in there. Like I want to go to St. Mary's and watch Stephen Brunt inducted into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame.
Beautiful town.
Yeah.
Beautiful town. Home of Milt Donnell, the birthplace of Milt
That's
Donnell.
right.
See, that's a fun fact.
Yeah. And it's about 10 minutes away from the first recorded game of baseball in Canada, which was in Beachville, Ontario. So that's why it's
Are we still arguing that that's the first recorded game
how much time do we have? Sure, we'll get Bill Humber on this podcast and we'll keep talking about
it. There's a big beef about that.
I heard Milt Donnell, he covered that game.
Right.
He might well have.
So we're here at Christie Pits. We have a booth, so anybody that's here has had a great time. Over in the left field corner. So artifacts, Rob Butler artifacts, old gloves that you can try on and play catch with and learn a bit more about the Hall of Fame.
Are you going to be at all Sunday home games?
We'll try and be here as much as we can. We're in St. Mary's, but we have a good group here as well.
Because nobody hears us during this game, so it's not like we can tell people to go there. But I'm looking at it now, and if I'm going to be back here for several Sunday afternoon games.
Yeah.
Because of that terrible draw. Hey, Brunt, when do you go to Newfoundland?
Very soon. A couple of weeks.
Oh, we caught you just in time.
Yes,
okay, I think I'm here for like the first Sunday of June.
Okay.
There's a game here, and I'm going to record live from there, too. You think Wendel will come to that game?
You didn't give him an ask. He lives downtown these days, I think. He's not that far away.
Jeremy, did you meet Wendel Clark?
I did, and I met Rik Vaive, who is my absolute hero growing up. So I'm of that vintage to remember Rik Vaive's 50 goals.
You kidding me? That was my time, man.
Yeah.
I was a big Rik Vaive guy. That's like 50 goals, like a Leaf? Three times, as I recall.
Right. Rik Vaive and Rik Emmett in the same day. I mean, this is a pretty memorable Sunday.
I'm taking full credit for Emmett being here because I invited him. I asked him to sing the national anthem. He said, "I'm happy to come, but I will not sing the national anthem." And then I actually...
Didn't you, though?
Well, that's where I'm going here, okay?
Yeah.
Then I go, Blair Packham. I said, Blair, I called it a favor from the Jitters own Blair Packham. I said, can you go to Burlington? Because he didn't want to drive here, Rik Emmett. Who does, right? Go pick up Rik Emmett and bring him to the Diamond. And Blair did that. Like, this is a sweetheart. I'm going to talk to him in a moment.
Right.
But I just want to say my apologies to Rik Emmett, who apparently Rod Black in the moment asked Rik Emmett to sing the anthem, and Rick did it? Is it the story, right?
Yeah, there was a mic drop involved. Not that.
Well, we heard that, right? We were here.
It just stopped. Yeah,
I didn't even know who was singing the anthem.
Intentional. I don't know.
Oh, he's no fool.
Did the guy that Rik Emmett got? Did the guy with the stack of Triumph vinyl find him?
I hope so. He was right here. It was
more
wild.
than a few back there.
Yeah.
It was wild. All right, Jeremy. Thanks for telling us about the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. And I hope I'm going to drop by a Sunday when I'm not recording here. I'm going to drop by and try out one of those old mitts.
Great.
I won't get any communicable disease is
just
living in those mitts.
You'll learn how to catch a ball when the mitt was maybe about quarter of an inch thick. So
wow,
throw you a ball that hurts your hand. That's for sure.
Amazing. But
thanks so much, Mike. Appreciate it.
Give your seat up to Peter Gross for a moment.
Do.
And then I'm going to get Hebs in here, but don't unplug me. This is what I'm telling all my guests today. Don't unplug me. Peter, sit down for a moment here, and then I got to get the great Mark Hebscher on. I smell hot dogs. What does a guy have to do to get a hot dog around here, right, Peter? Peter Gross, can you hear yourself?
I can hear myself.
Did you know
on a
Wendel Clark was here?
day basis. Yeah, I just took a selfie with him.
Amazing. Do you think Brunt has any insights into how to get you insurance to deliver food for Uber? You should hear what's going on, Steven.
Oh, yeah.
It's
let's not waste time here at the basement.
No, they can go back to
killed enough time the other day.
Okay, right in front of that thing, my friend. Did you find out? Are you and Mark Hebscher calling an inning? Did you find out what's going on there? Because I can talk to the owner right now.
I was asked to do play-by-play for an inning, whatever that means.
Okay, but have you communicated to Mark Hebscher, who is right there? Like I'm going to put him on this mic next.
Is that going to happen here? That's the only
are we to call an inning or what?
Yeah, I got a sub.
Okay, here. You're the best, Peter. We did just talk last episode. Give Hebsy your spot. This is important. Mark Hebscher's here. Don't unplug us, though. That's more important, even. You're amazing. Peter Gross, everybody. FOTM Hall of Famer. Here comes Mark Hebscher, host of the formerly beloved Hebsy on Sports. He's getting comfy, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Stephen Brunt, you haven't had any fisticuffs with Mark Hebscher.
No, I'm
just
not,
checking.
I'm not part of that club. No,
you never know.
He elbowed me out at Fortino's one time. I went to get some baked goods.
Yeah, we're Hamiltonians.
How you doing, Mark Hebscher?
I'm doing great, Mike. Thanks for having me.
I feel like a lucky man that I have to my right, I have Stephen Brunt. To my left is Mark Hebscher. And I feel I can ask you guys anything. Where do we begin? But do you think the Leafs made the right move? They fired Sheldon Keefe. Do you even care anymore? What's going on? You just care about golf now? What's going on, Mark?
I guess it was inevitable that they had to fire Sheldon Keefe. I thought Sheldon Keefe was an okay coach. I mean, if you look at his record, it's tremendous. Over 200 wins, less than 100 losses. I mean, any coach, I don't care, Maple Leaf or otherwise, that has a record like that shouldn't be unemployed for too long. I'm happy for him that he's got 2 more years with the Leafs because he doesn't have to go back to coaching if he doesn't want to. And if he wants to spend time with his family, I think that's very noble and necessary. I didn't spend enough time with my family around that time, and I kind of regret it. So go for it, Sheldon.
Go for it, Sheldon. Now, should Shanahan have taken a walk off the plank? That's like 10 years now with one playoff victory,
Mike,
playoff round.
I've mentioned this to you before. I don't like anybody running the organization that doesn't have ties to the organization. And I'm sorry, Ken Dryden had no ties to the Toronto Maple Leafs organization. Brendan Shanahan, even though he grew up here, had no ties to the organization. Are you telling me that you can't find someone that has, I don't know, some kind of tie to the organ? Is it necessary?
What do you think about that, Stephen?
I'm trying to think who the last one was.
I know.
Berkey, didn't have.
No, Berkey had none. And
it's been, it's.
So if you want to keep the tradition going, the tradition that we'd all like to think of, the one before Harold Ballard ruined all of it, then you got to find some way to, bring back the past. I mean, Davey Keon's not going to be your guy. I'm not sure there's anyone qualified, but I would still like to cast a wide net and find someone with some Maple Leaf blue in their blood to be in charge of this organization.
Speaking of Maple Leaf blue, I want to thank you, Mark Hebscher, because you signed my 93 Gilmore jersey. Okay, this is a moment, Stephen. You're witnessing a moment.
Okay, hang on.
So I bought this in 92 when he was the alternate captain, and Wendel was the captain, who's somewhere behind me, believe it or not. Oh, man, there you go. Okay.
Right, how's that, eh? Look at that.
Oh my God, yeah.
So
okay.
Wendel, but I think
Pretty
Wendel.
nice.
I think there was a captain before Vaive and Wendel. I think Rob Ramage was the captain in between there.
You're
100%.
Correct,
Yeah. I know he's not here today, I'm told. Okay, but we got to get the Killer out to one of these games. But how was that meeting with the Killer? You left my place last time you were on Toronto Mike. You went straight to hang out with Doug Gilmour. How was
not
it?
to hang out with him. I had some business to do with him. I'm trying to get him to write the foreword for my upcoming book.
We're gonna get you back. I have more questions. Sorry.
Oh, that's Mark. Okay, good.
It's Mark Hebscher. The owner, Keith Stein, is here. I'm gonna get him back.
He's trying to.
I'm sorry.
So I got to sub out here.
Okay, you
who's
gotta
coming
go.
in? We got to change the line.
Okay, bring in Paikin then.
Okay,
but
I'll do that.
Take off your thing. Thank you, Stephen
you,
Brunt.
pal.
What a great FOTM, Stephen Brunt.
Might get a hot dog on the way home.
Okay.
Great hanging
I
the mic with you,
I like
Steve.
lots of mustard on my hot dog. Okay. Steve Paikin, please.
Safe trip back to Hamilton there, eh, Steve?
Yeah. Get in there. All right, it's pretty good when you can substitute. You're losing to Stephen Brunt, but you can
Now
bring
batting.
in a Steve Paikin. Okay, we're gonna get you right in there.
Okay, hi.
Mark Hebscher, what's your relationship like with Steve Paikin?
Very good.
I totally agree. We're
Okay,
pals.
I'm glad to hear this.
Both Hamilton boys.
Well, not really.
Well, sort of.
I'm not. My family was all born in Hamilton.
But you worked at CHCH.
I worked at CHCH when it was a television station, yes.
No.
It's don't talk about CHCH. It's triggering. Do you know what happened?
Sorry.
Can I say it?
I know what
they fucked
happened.
over Mark Hebscher and many
language.
others.
Well, not just me.
Michael, language.
Not just me. No, they, listen, what can I tell you? That's the way, I think the writing was on the wall then. I realized that, this is not the same business that, when you got into it, it was like, yeah, I'll be with the same company for years and it'll all be great. So I'm way past that, and good for them.
Mark,
I got to say, can I say this?
Anything.
I miss you too.
Thank you.
I miss you too. I was a faithful listener of the podcast. I even bought some of Nate's soap.
Hebsy on Sports.
I did.
You did.
I bought some.
I
of
like
Nate-
that soap.
I
I liked it.
Nate's soap in order to support your podcast because
It was hard, Steve. It was hard, Stephen, because I felt that I had a big responsibility. I had to keep up with all the sports, and there's so much now to keep up with.
For sure.
Every game is on television. Every game is televised or
It's a lot
streamed
of
in some
work.
way,
Yeah.
and it's more work than I had hoped. It used to be a passion project, and then it became like a job.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I got to watch the Raptor game. We're gonna, what happened there? And so, I'd rather not do it. So now I can do it at my own leisure, and it's very enjoyable. I miss it in some ways. There's some days where at the end of the day, I'm like, I think I'd like to do a live broadcast right now and tell people what I think of John
We can
Schneider's
do that,
managerial moves and what I think of the second period of the Leaf game, and that kind of thing. Like instantaneous, because it has to happen like right after the game. As soon as the game is over, it's like, give me something live, give me some comment from the coach or something about that play or something to keep it going, keep the conversation going.
Well, call me up next time you have that that itch that needs scratching, and we can literally do that. You know
we can.
In fact, I was thinking if the Leafs had won that Game 7, spoiler alert, we didn't win that Game 7, but if we had, I was going to do a live, open Zoom thing. Where,
I would have done part of that, sure.
And they, what happened in overtime, right, Mr. Paikin?
I heard all about it. Yeah.
So tell me, I want to talk a little Maple Leafs baseball. We talked our hockey. We got to talk baseball here. It's a beautiful day. But first, can we just pay respect to a legend? I know Mr. Steve Paikin's favorite hockey player of all time was Ron Ellis. Is that right?
That's true. That is
Would you
true.
mind talking to us a little bit? I texted you condolences. I thought of you first when I read the news. I was sad.
Do you know, it's funny how many people have actually texted me or sent me emails over the last couple of days since the news of Ron Ellis's death has become public, because I guess there's some people out there who know that I love
You
this.
said it on Toronto Mike.
Well, I love
everyone knows.
I loved this man. I have no embarrassment or hesitation in saying it. I loved Ron Ellis. I met him for the first time when I was 10 years old. Through a long story which we don't need to go into, my brother and I ended up in the Leaf dressing room after the game. He was my favorite player. We got a picture taken together. We, as strange as this sounds, he was my hero. And then I got to know him, and we actually became friends.
Wow.
And, I'd email him on his birthday every year. We'd see each other once a year. At
January 8th?
Correct. 1945.
in Lindsay, Ontario?
Correct.
Wow.
Same day as Dave Hodge.
Wow.
Same day,
Good one. Wow.
same day, same year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And we stayed in touch over the years, and we really, I kept all his emails, and we had a lovely, lovely friendship. And so I'm thinking of him today, and I'm very sad. I tell you, it's hit me harder than I thought it would, but it was all very sudden.
Yeah,
it was very sudden.
Can I interject something here about Ron
Anything.
Ellis? So my favorite player was Ron Ellis, and the reason he was is because when I was 8 years old, my aunt, my brother's sister-in-law, my Aunt Christine Hebscher, who's passed away, was his teacher, his English teacher at Downsview Secondary School.
Wow.
And she told me about a young man who at the time was playing for the Marlies, who I loved, and would go every Sunday afternoon to watch Marlies, Neil McNeil, Kitchener Rangers, Hamilton Red Wings. I mean, I love that at the Gardens. $2 for blue seats. $2.
Wow.
And so Ron Ellis was one of my favorite players with the Marlies, and now my aunt says to me, "Oh yes, Ron Ellis. He's in my class." And I was like, "Whoa! Could you get me an?" And the first autograph I ever got was first was Foster Hewitt, but she got me an autograph of Ron Ellis.
Wow,
I loved him. And then when I first met him too, Steven, he was so nice,
A lovely man.
so nice.
Yes.
And the same thing. Here's my number if you need anything. And it just absolutely. And he was playing for the Leafs at the time, so he gave me his home phone number, so I could call Ron Ellis to get a clip from him, or say, "Ron, can I meet you at the Gardens tomorrow morning at 10?" Wonderful.
Mike, I'll tell you another story.
Yes, please.
25 years ago or so, our friend Kevin Shea is writing a book about Ron Ellis. It's called Over the Boards. And in the writing of the book, he decides to call me because he knows I'm a big Ron Ellis fan, and he wants to get some stories from me. And in the course of talking to Kevin Shea, I mentioned to him that I'm so upset because my car recently got broken into, and my wallet got stolen, and I don't care about the credit cards or the money, but my Ron Ellis autographed hockey card, which I kept in my wallet, is now gone, and I'd had that thing for years and years. Well, wouldn't you know it, Mark, a month later, I'm opening the mail at home, and I open an envelope, and inside is a letter from Ron saying, I hear my previous one went missing. Here's a new one for you. Oh my
God, that's great!
What a great story!
And okay, hang on. You guys.
Okay, so
you guys,
Mark, do play-by-play for this here, Mr.
Steven
Bacon's
is going into his pocket here now. He's getting out his wallet. This is old school. So he's pulling out the wallet, and there's the card. There is the Ron Ellis card.
Wow.
And from someone who kept an Elrod Hendricks card in his wallet for 15 years, from the age of 14 to 29.
This is why I like you guys.
It's close to your heart. It's close to your bum, too. But it's like you keep that with you. You have your wallet. You've got that identification. That is luck right there. That's
always
fabulous.
with me.
Thank you for sharing those memories. Again, my condolences. Ron Ellis, great Maple Leaf, and a great person, it sounds like. It just sounds like a tremendous person.
He retired. He retired for a full season.
2 seasons.
Oh, it was 2 seasons. That's right. 75, 76, and 76, 77.
Wow.
He retired, and he was like 30 years old. He had, his depression was so severe that he could not concentrate. And he was an excellent player. I think he was coming off a 29-goal season or something. And he just couldn't concentrate. So he quit. He quit
for 2 years,
for 2 seasons at his prime.
But then he came back. He came back for and I think he got 3 more seasons.
I think you're right. 77, 78, 78, 79, 79, 80. Yeah.
And you know what? I'll tell you. Oh boy, Mike, you got us going here. You got us going. But I've got to mention this too.
Yeah.
I wrote 2 letters to Brendan Shanahan saying that you really need to do something nice for Ron Ellis. The guy at the time, when I wrote the letters, Ron was the 4th all-time leading goal scorer in Maple Leaf history. Right. Austin Matthews had not yet passed him.
Right.
So he was number 4 all-time. He was number, I think, 5 all-time in games played for the Leafs. He's up there on the pantheon.
Yes.
Number never retired. He was never in Legends
Underappreciated.
Row. Underappreciated. I agree.
Number actually retired, though, Steve, in a roundabout way because he took, Ace Bailey wanted Ron Ellis to have number 6. So right there tells you something about the man.
Yes.
And then he was the only other player besides Ace Bailey that wore that. Once Ron retired, they re-retired that number.
Exactly right. But if you look up in the rafters at Scotiabank Arena, it says 6 for Bailey, not for Ellis, and it should be for both.
I agree.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing those memories. Now, do you have any time to share some Toronto Maple Leafs baseball memories? I know when I would record Hebscher on Sports, I'd often see Mark Hebscher donning his Toronto Maple Leafs hat. I told Keith Stein, owner of this team, I said, biggest Toronto Maple Leafs baseball fan
since 1969.
Wow.
Their first year, and they were horrible. They were so bad that my uncle, who was not a bad ball player, volunteered, went to Jack Dominique and said, look, I'll play for you. That's how bad they were that first season.
Wow.
Then they became my favorite team because the Jays were many years away. And a guy named Jim Ridley, who was an outfielder on this team, who became a scout for the Jays, their head scout, won the league batting title. I think he hit over 400. It was great. So we used to come here every Sunday. We used to come here every Sunday. My grandmother lived up the street, and we came every Sunday and watched the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Hebscher, you're not old enough to have seen them play at the foot of Bathurst Street.
Of course I am, yeah.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah, for sure. They left in 66. Dick Williams was their last manager.
Okay.
I saw Reggie Smith play. Reggie Smith was the best ball player I ever saw in person.
Wow.
He was a switch hitter, ended up going up to the Red Sox the following year.
Yes.
Fabulous player.
What is it like? Maybe paint a picture, Steve Paikin, what you're seeing here today, what kind of day we're having here at
It's
Christie Pits.
A bit of a Field of Dreams day here, isn't it? It's a little overcast, but there are more people here today than I have ever seen at a Maple Leafs baseball game because, I don't know, when my kids were little, I did used to bring them here and we did go to the odd game here, but they were always very sparsely populated. And whenever I would see Jack Dominico, he would always say, you got to help me out, man. We need to get some more people down here. And I don't know, there seems to be a pretty good buzz here today.
Yeah.
Well, they heard you were going to be here.
No, I don't think that was it. Lots of people on the... I think they heard rumors that you and Hebscher were going to put the podcast back together. Anyway, lots of people...
Any chance of that happening?
No, Mike.
Start the rumors.
You would have to pay me a lot of money. And even then, and I'd said this before, sometimes you're in the middle of something going, why did I agree to that for... It wouldn't have mattered the amount.
How do I get out of this?
So, yeah.
Can we use the name Hebscher on Sports and it could be Steve Paikin and I?
Sure, go ahead. Knock yourself out.
That would not work. That would not work.
We'll get Bruce Dovigan.
That's why I'm writing a book about it. I'm writing a book about me.
Tell us about the book.
It's coming along.
I know you teased it last time you were on.
40,000 words in. I just finished an entire chapter on what it was like covering the Maple Leafs my first couple years. So Peter Gross was, I just went over with Peter, because in 77, 78...
We're looking at him right now.
That's when I first started covering the Leafs. And so who was part of the Toronto sports media scene? Oh my God, the legends of sports writing, sports casting were all covering those Ballard year, Roger Nielsen season Maple Leafs. And that was my first taste of what it was like to cover the great, what I thought was the great Toronto Maple Leafs. They weren't so great.
My first job, Mike, was in sports at a radio station in Hamilton called CJJD. And
1280.
You got it. And part of my job was to cover the Hamilton Cardinals, which is the same league as these Toronto Maple Leafs.
IBL.
They played up at
Bernie Arbor Stadium.
Inter-county baseball.
Listen to Hebscher.
They played Bernie Arbor Stadium.
That is correct.
Nobody is
up on the mountain.
Beat Hebscher at like sports trivia.
And now here is where sports and politics come together. Okay. Hebscher, do you remember who the former commissioner of inter-county baseball was with a Queen's Park connection?
Oh, geez, I should know this, shouldn't I?
You should.
So wait, he was the commissioner of the IBL?
He was, and he was a former MPP at Queen's Park. In fact,
Andy Brandt.
No, he was a former Ontario Liberal leader as well.
Wait a minute. David Peterson.
No,
from
before
London.
him.
Before David Peterson.
From Hamilton.
John Monroe.
No.
Wait a minute.
He's
From
federal.
Hamilton.
I'm talking Queen's Park.
Queen's Park. Okay, so I got to know my Hamilton provincial politicians from the 70s.
Well, hang
Vic
on.
Copps.
Originally,
Sheila Copps. Bob Morrow.
Originally a psychiatrist from Montreal.
Oh, my God.
He actually stood down in the 68 election.
Right.
Or no, he stood down... The Liberal nomination race in Mount Royal riding in 1965, I think, was between this guy and Pierre Trudeau. And this guy stood down so Trudeau could have an unobstructed path to the nomination, and his name was Stuart Smith.
Oh, Stuart Smith, of course.
Yes, there you go.
Dr. Stuart Smith.
Correct.
Wonderful man.
He stumped
Hebscher. That's amazing.
Wonderful.
By the way, this game is happening literally right in front of us. Yeah. Like I've been watching the game. It's a good caliber of baseball.
Yep.
Tough place to watch a game from where we are.
We're in deep center field. We are just behind the fence in center field.
See, we cannot see the hitter because the pitcher and the pitcher's mound is sort of obstructing our view. We have to wait for the pitcher to complete his windup and delivery. And that was a called strike. That was a strike.
Right? That was not a strike.
That was not a strike, and we're 450 feet away.
Not in this man's Ontario. That was not a strike.
So we're in the second inning. It's a 0-0 game. I'm hoping somebody goes long because we're right in the outfield.
They changed the fences. You see, the fence here and the right field fence here is much taller than it used to be.
Yes.
Okay.
Balls would fly out of here.
Oh yeah, because kids are playing baseball there. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, years ago there was a guy named Bob McKillop who played for the Kitchener Panthers.
Yeah.
And he was a left-handed hitter, and he hit a fastball one day. We watched it. It took one bounce and hit the pitcher in the ass, the pitcher on the adjoining field. So it took a hop right where the dirt cutout was, and it hit the pitcher right in the ass. And I think at that point they said, okay, maybe we should do something with the fences here.
Wow. Amazing. And so, Steve, any other Christie Pits memories here? We've got you.
I saw Paul Spaljaric pitch here.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Now, it's funnily enough, I buggered up my shoulder playing hockey a few months ago, and I'm doing some physio right now. And the doctor who diagnosed me is a guy named Jonathan Lockwood, who was a pitcher who pitched for the Toronto Maple Leafs all those years ago, and he pitched with Spaljaric. I just saw him.
Wow.
About 5 minutes before talking to you here, Mike.
That's funny.
So he's here today, and he pitched. I think he went 10-0 for those Toronto Maple Leafs when he pitched for them. And he was a draft choice of the Seattle Mariners. He didn't quite have the goods to go to the majors, but good enough to get drafted.
So people should go to the website and see the schedule because there's they play on many a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, they do. They play Sunday afternoon.
But they also play, is it Wednesdays or
Thursday nights, is it?
There's another night, like a weeknight they play. And
yeah,
again,
I think it's
there's no
Thursday
ticket. You show up. You find a spot on the hill here. You enjoy.
You buy a 50-50, a raffle ticket. You can't say 50-50 because it has to be registered. But but the other thing too is you have to understand is that this is the type of league where you're going to get guys in your 30s. You're also going to get some young guys, some very young guys that maybe haven't even started in any kind of pro ball. And I saw a young Chris Spire play for the Stratford Craven Knits. He was 17 or 18. And I'm sure what happened was he was signed out of high school, and they said, okay, for the summer, go up and play in Canada. And then when the fall came or whatever, he went back to school or whatever it was. So I saw him, and I also saw a pitcher named Jesse Orozco.
Oh, my goodness.
Who was 18 years old as well at the time, and boy, could he throw hard, but he didn't know where the ball was going. So
future Met, right?
This can be a this can be a development league.
Jesse was a world champion.
With the Mets.
Champion with the Mets.
86 Mets.
And I think he pitched till he was probably 47 years old.
Oh, I think you're exactly right. Very long. So these were guys. There was another guy named Bo Rather. He was a wide receiver for University of Michigan football team, and he played one summer for London Majors. And man, he caught some fly balls that I didn't think could be caught. So you might catch lightning in a bottle. You might catch a youngster who's kind of on his way up, maybe in a league like this. So there's a lot of talent.
Hebsy, do you remember this? Jack Domenico was, he was a really good promoter. And there were years when he would bring guys like Bob Feller and Warren
Bob
Spahn.
Gibson,
up here.
Big name. Bill Lee.
Yes, to do opening ceremony and sign autographs for the people. And
bigger than Rik Emmett.
At the time, no. But here's the other thing is Jack would have a big banquet prior to opening day. I think it used to be the night before. And it was at one of those hotels on the 427 there, Stephen, or Mike, you'll probably help me with, the Bristol or something like that. But anyway, he would have a banquet with Bob Gibson, Bob Feller, these big names, major names, Sam McDowell. Every year it was a must-attend event. If you were a baseball fan, this was even before the Jays, if you were a baseball fan, you had to go to that event. That was you'd get some great autographs and great stories.
I don't know how he got them. How did he get those?
That I don't know. Maybe he paid their fee. That's probably what he did there. But I trust you, gentlemen.
I don't know. There was something.
So?
Hard to say.
Who knows? I love those stories. I trust you two gentlemen. So I have to go set up a couple people and leave my own podcast. But we're still recording. If you see squiggly lines here, you're still on. Please continue without me.
Keep
I'll
the
be
conversation
back.
going.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
You must trust us big time in order to walk away and leave us on the microphone.
So it's got to be about Toronto sports. So, that shouldn't be too much different.
I think we can handle this.
So what year did you start when you were at CJJD?
Oh, that would have been 1979.
So who was on the air at that time? So in Hamilton, Beddoes would have been at CHCH, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, Phil Vigiani was the news director, and he was the afternoon news reader as well. Does that name ring a bell at all?
No.
Phil Vigiani.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, Steve Howe was doing sports.
Not the guitarist for Yes.
Not the guitarist for Yes, not the pitcher for the LA Dodgers.
Right.
A different guy, Steve Howe.
So this is 1979. So CKO.
Jeff Howard?
Jeff Howard, of course.
Jeff Howard was there.
But CKO would have started right around that time.
Yes.
And they had the Leaf rights, I remember, because he took the rights away from Foster Hewitt.
Right.
Threw his gondola in the incinerator.
Oh, boy.
Took down all the Stanley Cup banners so he could build private boxes. And awarded the rights to CKO, which had a signal where the ratings were all dashes. There was nobody. Bill Cameron told me, Simon Dingley, the worst. Yeah. It was like the Vietnam of newsrooms. It was a terrible place. And Ballard had a lot to do with really screwing up the media at that time because he took the rights away from Foster Hewitt's station.
Well, that would be him. Yeah, Brian Fisher was our morning news reader.
I know Brian Fisher,
him.
Sure, from him. He went to CHFI.
Okay, okay. Gosh, those were the days. And I covered Hamilton Cardinals baseball. Right. I covered Hamilton Tiger Cat football, and everything else in between. I was sort of, the summer fill-in sports reporter on CJJD, and it was called that because Keith Dancy, who owned the station, named it after his wife, Janine J. Dancy. So CJJD.
Okay, so if that's the case, he owned CJRN when I worked there. No, the O'Brien brothers owned it then. Anyway, you always try to figure out with call letters. Like CKFH was easy, the FH was Foster Hewitt.
Right.
But I didn't know this, that CFCA, which was the precursor to CFRB, which was owned by the Toronto Star, CFCA, where Foster Hewitt broadcast those first hockey games, stood for Canada's something. I can't think of what it is now. Like every call letter had some kind of a story behind it. And now if you ask young people about call letters, what does that mean?
Well, my first full-time job in radio was for CHFI and CFTR. I was City Hall reporter in Toronto. And CHFI was stood for hi-fi. That's all, as in high fidelity, because it was the first FM station, I think, in Toronto. And TR was Ted Rogers, and Ted owned both stations. So that was that. CFRB, which Ted Rogers' father had started, was Canada's
radio
first
battery, right?
Rogers, first Rogers batteryless. Batteryless, yeah.
FRB, good.
Yeah, that was that one.
That's a good one.
So there we go.
Because I was talking with Peter Gross earlier, and I said, look, I started in Toronto in '78, right in the spring of '78, as the Leafs were making their way to the Stanley Cup playoffs under first-year coach Roger Nielsen, and people were excited because
that was a good time.
It was a good time, and they had a good young team. Right? Think of that team that. Lanny McDonald was like 26 years old. Daryl Sittler. These were a team in their prime, ready to move up. They weren't as good as the Montreal Canadiens. Nobody was, but they were sort of that step. Them and the Islanders were just like a step away, and then of course they made it to the semifinals. They got swept by Montreal.
Well, two games into overtime.
Yeah, that's true.
And one game in double overtime. So it was closer than a 4-game sweep would have you believe.
Steve, I think we might be thinking of the following year when Cam Connor scored in double
that's
overtime.
The one, yes.
That was the second sweep.
Okay.
No, the first year was not. The first year, 77-78, was not, although I think Montreal shut them out in 3 of those 4 games, or 2 of the 4. So the trivia question was this. Harold Ballard was the last owner to put names on the back of his team's jerseys. He wouldn't do it. He said that it would affect program sales.
Right.
So John Ziegler, when he came in as the commissioner of the NHL, the president that first year, he mandated that by the end of the season, every team have players' names on the back of the jerseys. Ballard is like, nope, I'm not going to do it. It's going to affect program sales. So what happened was he put their names on the back of the jerseys, but he put them in blue letters on the back of the blue jerseys.
So you couldn't read. The names were there. You just couldn't read them.
Just to get around the Ziegler, who he called a know-nothing shrimp, among other things, Ballard.
Yeah.
And so, and then finally, at the end of the season, the only team left that did not have their names on the back of their jerseys, and it was just the home jersey, was the Maple Leafs. So the question is this: who is the last Maple Leaf to score a goal wearing a nameless jersey?
Oh, boy, no idea. Give me a hint.
Well, I mean, he played for the Leafs in 77-78 because in those 78 playoffs, they were the only team without their names on their home jerseys. So it would have been a home game, obviously.
Yeah.
And who was on the Leafs in 77-78?
Okay, well, Ian Turnbull.
Turnbull's not the right answer.
Not the right
Nor
answer.
Nor is Daryl Sittler or Manny McDonald. It was George Ferguson.
George Ferguson.
But I think it was in Game 3. I think they were shut out in Game 4. I think they lost 2-0 in Game 4 that year, and Ferguson had a goal. So those kind of things. But when I started, think about this, Steve. When I began in 77-78, the Toronto Media Corps, Sports Media Corps, covering the Leafs was John Iaboni, Jim Hunt, George Gross.
Frank Orr.
Frank Orr, of course. Milt Donald, Jim Proudfoot.
Yes.
You can go into now Donald Ramsey, Strachan wasn't there yet. Jim Christie, Larry Milson would have been doing baseball at the time. You would have had Jim Coleman. I mean, Jim Hunt. You had so many.
Scott Young was probably there.
Scott Young, of course.
Yeah.
Scott Young was there. Of course he was. Just so many great reporters. And then in TV, you got Pat Marsden, Fergie Oliver, Dan Matheson. You had Brian Williams. You had a lot of Dick Beddoes, from CHCH was there, and Peter Gross worked with Dave Reynolds in the sports department at City TV. Global had Mike Anscombe and Bill Bird. So these were the type of McCowan. Bob McCowan was my boss at CKFH. John McGilvery. So there were so many really good media people.
I worked with McGilvery at CJJD.
JJD.
He was the sports director there for a while.
So, when I came into the business, there were all these people to look up to that I had read and listened to. Bill Stevenson and Fred Locking and Dave Hodge on CFRB.
Yes.
So it was just a plethora of great media people to follow. And I wonder now, if you're coming into, for example, the Toronto sports media, what's it like? How different is it now? Because you've got 2 all-sports networks that are owned by corporations.
It has to be different. And I don't think we're saying that just because we're in our 60s. I think it actually is different. I won't say better or worse, but different. I think we were lucky to come up when we did, Hebsy.
I agree, because I think journalism meant a lot more. It meant something more. Now we're not sure whoever's delivering the sports, if they're journalists or just presenters, or they work for the team, or there's an ulterior motive, or they're an extension of the public relations department. So my thing is always, if someone says, I want to get into the business, I say, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a journalist? Or do you want to work for a team? Do you want to be a promotional type, work for the league, let's say? And that's where when people get their information, say, I just read this on the Leafs website. I'm like, well, hold on a second. If you read it on the Leafs website, it's going to be pro Leafs.
Sure.
So you might might want to go back.
Oh, Mike is back.
Something else.
You know what I'm excited about? Like, I can listen back to my own podcast and hear stuff I haven't heard. I can get you guys a beer. Do you want a beer?
No, I just want
Paikin, do you want a beer?
I'm okay. Thank you.
All right, it's funny how it's not my sponsor's beer, but it's the Toronto Maple Leafs sponsor's beer. So
are the Great Lakes beer people going to be okay with this?
Well, they're going to have to be. I did actually try to get Great Lakes to become the official beer. It had almost happened. I think they were in second place. Did you know Ridley Funeral Home is the official funeral home of Toronto Maple Leafs baseball? And apparently, I can't see it because we're behind it, but one of these banners is for Ridley Funeral Home on this fence.
I got to get a picture of it, Mike.
I got to get a picture. And I see over here in my corner, I see Raymond James too, another, so we share that too. So that's kind of awesome. I was just chatting up. When I close off this podcast, I'm going to have Rod Black and Keith Stein on, and I'm going to find out, why the heck did he buy this team? Like, he paid an exorbitant amount, in my humble opinion. I was talking to Dave Bedini about this because he was part of a group that tried to buy this team for $200,000.
$1 million.
Yeah, don't you think you could buy the whole league for $1 million?
I don't know, but what comes with the $1 million? Like, I don't know.
Do you get the park?
Well, I don't know what comes with it. I mean, if you've got the name Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball Club, that's
worth something.
That's worth something, and you can really leverage that.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, we're looking at the crowd here now, and I don't know. There might be 700-800 people here.
Okay, I'll bet you they're.
Well, I'm just saying, if you look all around, and
at least 1,000
people up top too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people here, and what they do is they walk around. They used to. Jack Dominique used to have a coffee can, and he'd be shaking it when it had money in it, and you pay whatever you could.
Ground ball to the shortstop, over
Double
the second for one, on to first, that one's in the dirt. No.
They called him.
They call him out.
I think he was out.
He scooped it. Maybe
Well, there's no replay, but that was a heck of a scoop by the first baseman.
You bet.
Hebscher, I got a question before we say goodbye. I was told by the owner of this team that you and Peter Gross are calling an inning. Do you have any information about that?
I don't, and I'll be honest with you.
Do you want to do it? Because I'm going to make it happen.
And I'll tell you why. I wouldn't feel comfortable with it. I would need to have some stats. If I was going to call an inning, I'd have to know who was playing what position and a little background on the players, because it wouldn't be fair to the audience to go, he hits it to the shortstop, whose name I don't know, who throws it to first, whose name I don't know.
Number 17.
I think he was batting .225, but it could have been .450 last year, and so I wouldn't feel comfortable that way. And also, the guy who does the play-by-play, and I can't think of his name, he knows the team. He knows.
Right.
So.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we were making all these dreams come true.
I don't think. I think.
What are some of the? Now I'm trying to remember now. Some of the names of the other teams in this league.
I can tell you what they are.
Go ahead, please.
Well, you have the Guelph Royals, London Majors, Kitchener Panthers, Hamilton Cardinals, Welland Jackfish, the defending IBL champions.
Wow.
What's a Jackfish?
I'm not sure, but Elliot Price used to do the play-by-play for that team.
Oh, right.
Former Expos.
Are Stratford still the Hillers?
Stratford doesn't have a team.
Oh, okay.
There's a team in Chatham, Kent.
Okay.
All right. And I'm missing one. Barry Baycats. Very good squad.
Okay.
And have been for many, many years.
Okay. Very
I
good.
think that's all of them there. London, Kitchener.
Mike, who's the greatest baseball player ever to come out of Chatham, Ontario?
Ferguson Jenkins.
There you go, Mike.
Who's the second biggest?
Oh, I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, Billy Atkinson.
Okay.
Yeah, he pitched for the Expos.
Got us there.
Okay.
Second biggest from Chatham.
Very good. Very cool. I didn't know there was a second.
Listen, I knew this league. Like I said, when I was a teenager, this was the only baseball that I could watch in person.
Right.
And it was fabulous.
No, Hebscher, for a while you were living at college in Clinton.
Yeah, right down the street.
But now you're in Markham?
I'm
Is that
in
right?
Markham right now.
Okay, so how often can we get you out to the ballpark? Like, I'm going to be here one game every month. I'm going to be recording here. Like, could we get you here once a month to drop by?
Sure, man. I guess. I don't know.
You're the one in Markham.
Let me put it this way to you, Mike. I don't know if I would specifically come all the way from Markham just for the game.
Right.
But my son does a comedy show every other Thursday right here at Bloor and Dufferin at a place called Winona. Right. And I might be able to combine the two because his show doesn't go till around 9 o'clock at night. So if they play Thursdays, I would come for a Thursday game.
Okay.
And then I go down the street and see my son do a comedy show.
Well, we'll discuss that further. Okay. I want to just let the listenership who is to my left here, because we, as you might know, Hebscher and Paikin, I don't know if Paikin would care, but Randy Backman was on Toronto Mike. Okay,
Randy, you don't know if Paikin would care.
You're a crooner, man.
I interviewed Randy Backman for 55 minutes on the agenda one time. We had the best conversation.
Steve Paikin, can you name 2 songs from the Guess Who?
I can do better than that, Mike. Come on.
How about all the songs on So Long Bannatyne?
You want me to sing them all or just name them all?
How about Sour Sweet?
These eyes.
Oh wait, how about Albert Flasher?
I should never have doubted you, man.
How about Albert Flasher?
Albert Flasher's a good one. No Time is a good one.
No Time's a good one, right? No Sugar Tonight.
Undone.
Oh, man, there's millions of them.
Not spelled UNDONE, but UNDUN.
UNDUN.
Absolutely.
But Sour Sweet, to me, is the best of all. I mean, it's just so...
And BTO as well. I know those
fabulous.
guys as well.
Well, Hebscher, you're going to love this, okay? The man to your left right now, Robert Lawson, he's written the definitive book on the Guess Who. What's it called? Wheatfield Empire? Oh, he's got a shirt on. You got to pull it over there. Okay, so
Awesome. Beautiful.
When Randy Bachman was on, this gentleman, Robert Lawson, came over to fact check Randy in his appearance on Toronto Mike, and it was quite something. It was quite something. So I'm glad to see you. Glad to see you here.
Was he being the sort of Daniel Dale to President Trump for Randy Bachman?
Something like that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Huge fan. I think I saw the Guess Who, I think probably eight or 9 times.
Nice.
And every time they were great. And I saw Burton Cummings on his own too. He was spectacular.
Would you?
You're not on mic. No one can hear you. Somebody's trying to yell at us, Mike, but they're not on mic, so we can't hear.
That's Brian Gerstein, propertyinthesix.com. Hebscher knows Brian Gerstein.
I know Brian very well.
There we go. I saw the Guess Who play the halftime show at the Grey Cup in Calgary in, oh gosh, I forget the year. 2000. Later.
Oh, wait a second. Oh.
Yeah, later.
Didn't the Guess Who do... Well, anyways, I'm thinking of another event because I saw them in the 80s.
He would know.
Football
Okay,
game.
too bad we don't have another mic
did a
open for
football
Robert
game.
Lawson here.
2002. That's when they,
Then it was Burton Cummings.
in Calgary.
And I was Burton Cummings on his own then because he was awesome and he did the national anthem and he blew the place away. He sang "Oh Canada" and he had a little keyboard with him.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable.
Guy can still sing.
All right, gentlemen,
Amazing.
I got to get these mics to somebody else
Good.
here. But
Mike, good to see you, pal.
Hebscher, I hope if you're around when I come up for air, I want to get a selfie with you. And you too, Mr.
Well, you better
Paikin.
hurry there, Pally. I got time.
Good to see you,
It's only
Hebscher.
the third inning.
It's only the third inning. We're in a 0-0 game. I'm looking. It's 3-2 on the batter. Nobody out. Thanks, Hebscher. This is a big moment in Toronto Mike history because just say hi. You don't have to give your birth date. Okay. I can't give her real name, and I won't say any further details because she looks like she'll hurt me. But MF is making her on mic debut, so we'll tilt that. So,
Hi, Mike.
So MF, what are we allowed to say? Just that you're married to Cam Gordon?
Yeah, you can say that.
That's it? Okay, so get right on that bad boy there, okay? This isn't the, I almost said it. I almost slipped right there. This isn't the XXX. Okay. What's life like being married to FOTM Hall of Famer Cam Gordon?
Fabulous.
Is that the real answer? Or is it because he's 2 feet away
He's right
eating
there
some
taking
Pringles?
photos of us.
Oh, I love this guy, Cam Gordon, because he's drinking and...
He's the best.
Get on the other mic. Get on the mic. Okay. So I'm getting the newlywed couple. They're in their first year of marriage. I don't know where he went, but I told him to come on this mic.
Cam, he wants you on.
Yeah, tell Cam to come on the open mic for a second here. Just say hi. We're going to close the show with Rob
This is my first time
Black.
watching this baseball game, so that's also
Okay,
new.
so MF,
I didn't
we can
know
talk
that the
about
Maple
that.
Leafs existed.
Really?
Until you guys told me about this.
Well, that means
fun
my work
team.
is done. Keith did a smart job sponsoring Toronto Mike so we can spread awareness. So, Cam Gordon, you're drinking a Octopus Wants to Fight.
I will say this. I've shared mics with the Stu Stones and the Tyler Campbells. I never thought I would be on hot mics with MF here with a Toronto mic. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
I thought you were going to point out the fact Wendel Clark was on that very microphone.
No.
Isn't that a
did
big
he
deal?
go on?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, yeah. Wendel Clark, Rik Vaive.
Oh, I did,
Huge.
Yeah.
It is
What
just-
did you talk about with Wendel Clark?
The All Heart video
Game 6?
to Metallica's Hero of the Day. We just chatted a little bit about this. You know, he's not a chatty guy.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you knew this.
He was friendly when I took a selfie with him.
Oh, he's
though.
friendly. I didn't say he wasn't. I didn't say he wasn't friendly.
He's super nice.
He's super nice, but he's
Yeah.
just not a. He's not a. You know, not a Hebscher or whatever. He can chat it up. But I really enjoyed having him on the mic, and now I'm enjoying having you two on the mic. So, what's? Do you want to like? Marriage is going well. You still like each other?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, how's it going here? Let's talk a little bit about the scene here. It's sunny again.
Well, MF said she was totally unaware that this team even existed.
And I grew up in
until
Toronto,
recently.
and I was not aware of this team.
It's our best
so-
kept secret.
Yes, totally.
And what did you
This
pay
is
for your ticket to come out today?
0.
Get out of here.
Which
That's what
is
Cam
amazing.
paid. So, paint the scene. You might be somebody who could do that. I don't know. I'm not allowed to say who you are, which is weird, but okay. Just paint the scene for us like you were on the radio, let's say.
Like I was on the radio. Okay, well, we're at beautiful Christie Pits Park. This is a beautiful setting for a beautiful Sunday afternoon baseball game. There's lots of people here. some on lawn chairs, others spread out on blankets, enjoying some adult beverages, enjoying some snacks. I'll say it was a nice touch with the pink flowers being handed out to some of the ladies in the crowd for Mother's Day.
Thank Brad Jones for that, or who
actually, that was a Keith Stein thing, because when he was telling me to invite certain people, I was like, it's Mother's Day, right? He said, we're going to take care of the mothers. But I just want to take a moment, okay? I got to take a moment, okay? Because I had a this is coming from Boots, from Splash and Boots, okay?
Right. Juno award-winning, according to
They did, but no, they did win the Juno. It's the Broccoli and Sunshine didn't win the Juno. But, wait, this ball is hitting the gap.
There you go.
Oh, he caught that. What a catch. You just
impressive.
witnessed that. That's right
impressive.
there. We just witnessed a
But
great
for the
catch.
wrong team.
Yeah, that's okay.
Like
left field.
Kevin Kiermaier caliber of defense there.
I was going to say Kevin Pillar, but I guess you're right.
Him too. Well, actually, he's problematic. I think he's canceled.
Is he canceled? We can't say all these
he
grades
said some bad
here.
stuff. Anyway.
Okay, but I wanted to take a moment. So, of course, if you are a mother, happy Mother's Day. This is Mother's Day. But I want to take a moment to just I was with Mark Hebscher, and this is his first Mother's Day since his mother passed away. And many of us listening right now have lost their mothers. And I can only imagine it's a tough day for some people, thinking back not only on their mothers who can't be with them on this lovely Sunday, but also many women out there who wanted to be mothers and never became mothers. And there's many women out there, I'm thinking of Erin Davis, who were mothers and their child passed away. And I just want to say I'm thinking about everybody, and this is not always a fun day for all people listening. This is a tough day for a lot of people. But if you're a mother, happy Mother's Day. Do you think my kids are running the bases right now?
That's what I was just wondering, speaking of Mother's Day.
What do you see here? Describe the scene if you were on the radio.
Where's Lil Jarvis?
Well, he's wearing the
Ronaldo
the Ronaldo,
okay,
right?
Yeah, I saw him earlier.
No, that's a different Ronaldo, because my kid's hair isn't that long. Okay, hold on. So he's wearing a Ronaldo jersey. I hope he's out there running the bases. All these kids are running the bases.
This is chaos. This is wild.
It's also adorable. Look at that little girl in the pink skirt.
Oh, yeah. But where's Morgan would be adorable. Where's Morgan? Is she part of it?
Where's the mother of your children?
I've been looking for her. She's in a white cap.
Oh, wait, there's Ben Johnson just ran. Oh, my God.
Excuse me, Cam. That's FOTM Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson, right. Of course.
That was a good episode, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, can we talk about that for a moment here? We enough talk about the Maple Leafs baseball. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful game. It's free. People should come out. I'm going to be out to many games.
Charlie Francis.
Charlie Francis, who Ben cried when Charlie passed away. It was the Jamie Astafan, who I think was the...
Jamie Astafan.
He was the doctor who was just kind of injecting them with different types of steroids.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure everybody knew they were taking what and when, and I think he's the problem here. But anyway, Cam, FOTM cast. So MF, did you listen to FOTM cast?
I don't think she did. Again, for the real.
But did you listen to? Okay, well, we had an episode where your husband came over with Tyler Campbell, who's here somewhere.
Was that the one where you're doing a review of all the lingo?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no. That's the Lexicon episode. This is different. Yeah. We reviewed the first quarter of 2024 in the TMU, the Toronto Mike's universe. So episodes, updates to Wiki, any FOTM adjacent deaths. But we covered everything that happened in the Toronto Mike's universe for the first quarter of 2024. Your husband and Tyler Campbell came over and we did it, and it was awesome.
I missed that one.
You can
Sorry,
still listen.
I'll have to catch up on it
Actually,
later.
Toronto Mike, can I proposition you?
Uh-oh.
Oh, my goodness.
Excuse me.
And
No,
right here.
Excuse me.
No, this is serious. Because I just listened to the FOTM cast inspired by IndieCast podcast. You've been open about that.
The name, yes.
They just did a great tribute episode to the late Steve Albini we lost. I think we need... Because he worked with so many Canadian bands. Can we do like a standalone Steve Albini Canadian episode?
100%. Name check some of the Canadian bands.
Shadowy Menace, Shadowy
Sadies?
Planet, the Sadies.
Yeah.
Ken Mode.
Thrush Hermit or no?
Yeah, Thrush Hermit, the Great Pacific Ocean EP. Flight Camp, who went to my high school.
No, it's important to know he would work with anybody who would pay his fee. Yeah. He considered himself an engineer. Like, his role was to capture the best audio he could, but he wasn't there to produce you.
Absolutely. He did the Sadie's album at Greg Keeler's farm. I know Greg Keeler, not an FOTM, but his bandmate is Jim Cuddy.
And we did pass each other at Roy Thompson Hall after the 299 Queen Street documentary.
Absolutely.
So
anyway,
that's almost an FOTM.
Yeah. Maybe we'll save that for the FOTM cast. But
we should. You know what? Tyler's here. We could literally give him this
I
mic.
can vacate this seat.
Okay, well, MF, now that you've made your Toronto Mike debut, will you reveal your true identity?
No.
Yes.
This is part of the whole shtick, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What's her
Well,
TikTok
I'm not going to
handle?
dox you or
I know.
anything.
Just
okay.
MF.
Okay, well,
Just
keep up the
MF.
good work.
Okay.
Thanks.
Look at how close we are to the center fielder.
Absolutely.
Reach out and grab him. Okay, MF,
Lewis,
since you're not actually willing to say
No, you
anything
can't
of
interview
substance,
me. That's for another time.
get off my microphone.
Okay.
I want
Bye.
Tyler Campbell to come on, just because I want to talk about FOTM cast for a moment here. It's 0-0 in the fourth inning, by the way. And MF, if you see Monica, send her my way. I wanted to say hi to her on the mic. So we got Tyler Campbell, the
Hello.
VP of Sales. Okay, there's those pipes. Okay, so.
Emma, can you take a photo?
Oh, Cam's ordering his wife, MF.
I'm requesting. I'm requesting.
So MF just made her, I think this is her Toronto mic.
That's
debut.
exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tyler, do we
Yes.
have a date
Okay.
yet for the next FOTM?
I don't think it's in the calendar.
We're not talking because we're posing for a photo.
There you
everybody.
go.
So Tyler, thanks for coming out.
Oh, my pleasure. This is a fantastic
Describe the scene.
afternoon.
How's it going for you here today? It's a big
been
crowd, right?
It's been a fantastic day. The crowd is lively. There's children. There's activity. The beer line and the food line is extremely long.
It's off the hook.
And that's the goal, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what you want. I'm very excited because I brought my my Leafs jersey from when I was 8 years old.
Oh my God.
wow.
Okay,
Oh my-
thank you.
oh my God.
Okay.
I got Rik Vaive to sign
That's
it.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So I'm not 8. I was actually.
So Hebscher finally returned.
Oh, wow.
I was 18, okay? So I had 10 years to you, so
Yeah.
not quite as nice as are you. When you were 8 years old, you had a Rik Vaive
I had a
jersey,
Rik
and you
Vaive
just got
jersey.
assigned by Rik Vaive.
I sure did.
Oh, that's amazing. That's worth
Yeah.
the trip to
Oh,
Christie Pits.
100%.
Tyler and
So-
I were talking about that trade. Like, what was it again? Al Secord
Al Secord and Ed Olczyk.
to the Leafs.
Yeah, for Steve Thomas, Rik Vaive, and Bob McGill.
Oh my God, blockbuster.
That is a block, but that's pre-Gilmore. That was the big one, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to say, speaking of Gilmore, I have my 93 Gilmore jersey I bought when I was 18.
Oh, wow.
Only 10 years after you bought yours, because we're both 74 babies.
That's right.
And here I have it in my hand, signed by Doug Gilmore.
The killer.
Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bigger than huge.
Has
Okay.
has Rod Black been on the mics here?
Today?
Yeah.
So we're closing with Rod Black and Keith Stein. And because, Keith Stein bought this team for $1 million.
I will say, like, this is a great experience. I really like what they've done here. I think this could be a big deal, as the price of everything goes up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What did you pay for your ticket, Tyler?
Not a thing. Not a damn
Yeah.
thing.
The value can't be beat.
Did you know Robert Lawson is here?
I saw him. I was very excited.
Yeah.
And Brian Gerstein's right behind me talking
Yeah.
to Hebscher.
After
Someone record that chat.
After Rik Vaive and Wendel Clark, Robert Lawson was my big celebrity sighting for the day.
Paikin was on the mic a minute ago and asked, I was like, can you name 2 Guess Who songs? He's like, he was offended. But don't you think that's a fair question for a guy like
That's a fair
who
question.
worships Frank Sinatra? Whoa, where's that going? Is that foul? Yes. Down the line.
What songs did he name?
He actually, the little slippery little devil got away without naming any, but he was like so offended. I thought, he can probably name every song released
Who
by
is
the Guess Who.
Paikin's second favorite artist?
Oh crap, he's still here.
So it's like Mel Torme.
Go ask him. It's probably Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett. Yeah,
Yeah.
That checks out.
Makes sense.
It's probably Tony Bennett. Anyways, gentlemen. So, are you guys like actively taking notes on what to? Because this today must be discussed on the next FOTM.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a running sheet that I update. I make little notes of where I need to pull
Do you know the
clips.
catcher's right? Like he just took a piss, I guess, or something. The catcher's right there, right? Like this is such.
It's like in the beer line.
He's got to be the backup catcher because the
Yeah.
Blue Jays are in.
I think he's
on
getting the taco.
defense. The Blue Jays. Sorry, I'll edit that in post.
Yeah, fix
the
that.
Maple Leafs are here. But Cam, how did you sneak the Great Lakes beer here?
Well, we went to the new LCBO at Bloor and Bathurst, but yeah, MF did want me to point out I don't want to like dox ourselves, like saying where we live.
Well, you can say
It was
East
something
York.
we do frequent the Left Field brewery in the East End of Toronto. I'll
You
say
think
that.
that's doxing to say you live in East York, one of the
Yeah,
six
we got
boroughs?
a lot of people gunning for us. I got a lot of holdover from the Twitter
Look,
years.
I'll
so.
entertain MF's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Keep my my true identity anonymous.
Oh, come on.
But I think East York is safe.
Okay.
It's like saying I live in a Etobicoke.
Anyway, we did bring some. We're both enjoying some GLB. MF's got the Haze Mama. I've got the Octopus. How's the Leafs
MF?
Lager?
What is
this
MF's
good?
favorite Great Lakes beer? Haze Mama.
Haze Mama.
Yeah.
Okay, she likes that high alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
font here.
That's a good one.
There's a base hit for the opposition
Oh.
here.
There you go.
It's the fourth inning. It's still
It's a
0-0.
tight one. This is like watching a Jays game.
They got a guy in for Similar offense to the Major League Baseball team in this city, but this is the best baseball because I've been watching. This is the best baseball outside the dome.
Outside of the dome.
Outside the dome. Well, nobody's trying to tell you Vladdy Guerrero's out there, right?
Okay, Mike, I've got a question. So when Wendel jumped on the mics, so as an NHL player, how many NHL players have you had on?
Jim McKenney.
Let's run them down.
Let's do it. Jim McKenney. Wendel Clark now.
Wendell.
I can say that.
Yeah.
Rick Vaive.
Rick Vaive. Help me out, Tyler.
It's in the book, buddy.
It's in the book, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Nick Kiprios.
Okay.
I can play that clip. Do you guys want to hear it?
I do.
I always want to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, I kept the lexicon. Here we go. Everybody, this is going to be...
Is this the whole supercut of Kiprios?
Get all of those stories and more in a book that I wrote that will come out in October. Simon & Schuster were kind enough
but they got the
to
guy in
offer
second.
me
Sorry.
a book deal.
Put that in the book.
Yeah. And that's in the book, too.
He agrees. There you go.
And,
Hold on. We're just warming up.
Well documented in my book coming up. Yeah. And that's in the book, too. So it's a good read in my book coming up on how I was able to turn it around.
Like the Bush Gang?
It's a pretty good ride in my book. I think readers will enjoy it. Well, that's another one in my book, buddy. That's another one in my book.
Okay, so while we were listening to the Nick Kiprios supercut from Tyler Campbell, as we heard on the Lexicon episode of Toronto Mike, that they did score a run though. So they had bases loaded, and the ball hit up the middle. Great defensive play to get a force at second base. And they did score one run, but he prevented like 2, maybe 3 runs.
Could have been a big inning.
On a related note, who was it Nick Kiprios dated? Was Joan London?
That is it.
Joan
and that's
London.
one of the many questions I got. It's in the book.
Yeah. I feel like I told my dad, like, hey, here's a fun fact.
Well, that is a fun fact.
Yeah.
Did you guys listen to the Toronto Symphony Orchestra tribute to Sir Andrew Davis?
It's in my queue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I listened to it. I thought it was interesting. I like the guy who did the stand-up. He was like belching into the microphone.
Right. The guy who called me Ted.
Yeah. Who was the guy he
called me Ted multiple times.
The guy
Toronto
who did the
Ted.
piano jokes. This was like an infomercial in the 80s.
Victor Borga?
Victor Borga. Yeah, like it seemed like he sort of wanted to be like the violin version of that guy.
Do you want to jump on the mic? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to trade up. I'm going to get back to my wife.
I get some Brian Gerstein in here before I get Rod Black over here.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's a hot dog lady here. She's dressed as a hot dog.
We're having a race.
A race. Okay, well, we'll get the details. Brian Gerstein has the info.
Supposedly,
Don't unplug me,
hot
Cam.
dogs minus 150.
Well, Brian, get on the mic and tell us this important info.
How is Brian Dunn not involved in this?
I saw Brian Dunn the other day.
Yeah, there's about to be a hot dog sausage race, Mike.
I saw Brian Dunn at the other baseball team's game.
Was he wearing his hot
Friday
dog
night.
costume?
No. Okay, so welcome to the program. A former sponsor, but still a valued FOTM, Brian Gerstein. Brian, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Were you and Leslie Taylor discussing Expos baseball together?
Not really. We were on the Manoa watch, and I was updating her. Unfortunately, he gave up a 3-run homer to Santana, but he had an amazing outing. He went 7 into the 7th inning, and
that's unusual.
Yeah. But he low pitch count, and he had amazing control. I think the stats I saw until the 7th inning, he had maybe gave up a couple of hits. He had 5 Ks.
He's
maybe
back,
one
baby.
walk. Yeah, hopefully he's
back.
Yeah.
I saw something very rare. Like it's like I saw the Haley's Comet or something. I saw a pitcher pitch into the 8th inning the other day.
Oh yeah.
I thought I was like in high school again or something. Like, I remember the days when they pitched till their arms fell off.
That's right.
Like, let's go 11 here, Jack Morris.
It's funny because in baseball, there's certain keywords that I hear all the time that, like high leverage situation. If I hear that again, I'm going to scream. I'm just tired of that word. I don't know what it is, but it just bugs me.
But you were telling me there's going to be a hot dog race? Is that what you were telling me?
Yeah, hot dog sausage. I asked the guy who's about to have them race between the innings what the odds are if he plays them. He gave the girl who's a hot dog minus 150, so I guess his plus money, maybe plus 120 or plus 125 on the kid.
I love this guy. Are you still making lots of money on the sports gambling? What's going on?
I just do it for entertainment. I'm going to probably...
For shits and giggles. Have you talked
I'm actually
give some tips to Peter Gross.
He did.
I don't know hits, but the French Open's coming up. I did take a look today for a future bet, and I saw Zverev 16-1. You get him at 15-1 at the OLG.
And that's not a bad bet because of all the injuries to the top players right now heading to the French. And Djokovic got absolutely annihilated today by a nobody.
Brian did put $5,000 down on the hot dog, though. I saw him do that.
I'll bet. Will you two be at TMLX 15 on June 27?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't miss it for the world, Mike.
Oh, that means a lot to me. Okay, because Palma Pasta is going to feed us.
They are.
I don't know if Raymond James will be handing out money, but they should because the advantaged investor helps me make money. I got to put an asterisk on that. That doesn't mean you're going to make money.
Just have Cooksey come and hand out like $10 to everybody.
Cooksey better be there, man. That guy's a sweetheart. I also want to shout out, of course, season 6 of Yes, We Are Open. I hope Al Grego's there. He rarely misses a TMLX, and Al Grego has been. He went out west to Alberta. And I have notes. I actually did homework on who was the last episode about. It was about
Heritage Park.
Heritage Park Historical Village. Have you been there?
I have not.
You sound like you know your shit, man. Brian Gerstein, you ever been to Calgary?
Actually, I went for a trade show once. Not a trade show. It was actually an event when I worked at Yamaha Motor Canada. And I had to do an accessory tour across the country.
Wow. Yeah, so I questions.
Actually, no, sorry, that was a mistake.
Jackpot.
That was Edmonton. I went to an Oiler game.
Don't confuse me. Where's Monica?
Where's
Monica?
We were off the air in
She's
Alberta.
here in this somewhere at Christie Pits.
I went to an Oiler game and I went to all the provinces.
Oh my God, you
and
confused
in
Calgary with
Alberta, I
Edmonton.
hit Edmonton. I went to an Oiler game. And I remember they were singing a BTO song in between. It was amazing.
Oh, it all
Robert
comes
Lawson.
back to Backman.
Yeah.
Lawson's here.
Yeah.
He'll fact check that if it was which BTO song it was. All right, so if you listen to Yes, We Are Open, and you should subscribe right now because it wins award. Unlike Toronto Mike, it wins awards.
Award-winning podcast.
I'm going to do it right now.
Okay, it's Yes, We Are Open.
It's happening live.
And you'll learn about Heritage Park Historical Village because Al Grego talked to Dominic Terry, a spokesperson at the park. And Dominic talked about, unlike the Dominico Park we're at right now, Dominic talked about the park's origins and how it evolved in the past 60 years, bringing history lessons to life through immersive storytelling and fun attractions for everyone.
Al should talk to that Dominic Primucci from Pizza Nova. Peter Gross would like to leave. He's asking Mike if he can leave. And Peter is talking to people. Brian has asked me to subscribe to Yes, We Are Open, so I'm doing that live on
do
the
that,
air.
and I actually have to boot you guys because the man paying the bill here today is going to jump on.
This is very
Brian,
exciting.
good to talk to you.
You too. Take care.
You're always
All
a
right,
sweetheart.
I'm outta here.
Mr. Tyler. Well, you're both sweethearts,
Okay.
actually. I
Peace
value
and
you
love.
both very much. You know that. Don't unplug me because I've been holding on to this juice. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I am now summoning to the microphones. By the way, recyclemyelectronics.ca. That's where you go if you have old tech, old devices, old electronics. All right, Keith, have a seat. Whoops. Stick those on your head. This is Keith Stein.
Peter, going to join too?
Okay, well, they're going to share a mic. I only got one more here. Don't go too far. All right, because I want to get Keith. I'm going to get Rod Black on with you to say goodbye.
When I get low, I can't be on the mic.
Rod! So, okay. So let's say hi to. You got to find out which one you are. Hold on. You want to lower your volume?
Preserve my hearing.
How's that, Keith? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
CRTC coming in, so I'm retired. Yeah, there you go. I'm interested in hearing what Rod thinks.
Okay, we're gonna have to get. We're gonna talk to Peter Gross, Mr. Keith Stein. Keith, if you're on this, you're gonna be right on this mic right here.
But Mike, first,
get much closer.
Let's talk about this crowd. I'm thinking we're well over 2,000 people. What do you think?
I think it's between 1,500 and 2,000, but I'm not very good at estimating crowd sizes. But there is a lot of people at the top too. Well, let's talk about this. Okay.
Okay.
Get right on this. Tell me how the day is going for you.
So, last year, opening day, we didn't own the team then, but I heard they had like 300 or 400 people.
Well, Steve Paikin says he's been to many a Maple Leafs game here, and he's never seen a crowd like this.
No. Rod, you're happy, aren't you?
Oh.
Look, Rod, what do you think of the crowd?
I'm absolutely ecstatic to have 30,000 people here today. Wait a second. That's
a reasonable number.
That's a Celsius.
6,000 maybe.
No, it's sunshine, opening day, brand new ownership led by Keith Stein. Toronto Mike is here. We've given away 1,000-yard darts. That's the new term for hot dog. And you know what I love more than anything? All the kids that are here.
Fantastic.
All the kids that are here that are going to come back and they become lovers of Toronto Maple Leaf baseball.
But I want to point out a couple things. One, Mike?
Yeah.
I'm not saying a mustache.
Oh, yeah. I got to tell you about that.
You forgot. I did forget.
So I owe Stein.
Where's your freaking mustache?
So I
man?
had it going, and then something happened last week. I got called up to the big leagues, my kid did.
Okay, talk to us about this moment. We all watched the video, but your son when he had hits at his first 2 at bats.
Yeah. Had a great, crazy week.
And the video was so touching.
Yeah, it was insane. But I had actually started growing a beard and mustache because I was in Cancun for about 36 hours before I got this call that Tyler that he was getting called up, and we had to find a way to get there. Planes, trains, and automobiles. We made it. I think I called Keith that morning too, because I honestly thought that he might get called up this weekend, and I didn't want to miss this. I said, "Kid, sorry."
Could you imagine?
The Maple Leafs are playing.
But what would you choose if that had happened?
I love.
You got to be at your kid's game.
I love Keith Stein. I love the Maple Leafs. I'm here forever. But you know what?
Black.
But I was said to somebody, if somebody gave me a lottery ticket for like $3 million, or I get to see my kid do what he did on that game.
Yeah.
The lottery tickets.
No one would
burn.
fault you for that.
No, it's your dad. So yeah. So I started growing it, and yes. Okay. Can I have a reprieve? How about the next time we do Toronto Mic'd or the next game?
The first Sunday
it takes me 24
June,
hours.
I'm going to be set up doing this again. The first Sunday of June. Will
June
you be
2nd
here?
then. Yes.
Will you have a mustache? Because I'm going to start promoting
Dude,
this
I'm
again.
going to have a mustache for the rest of my life, just because of Stein.
Can we make a toast with Leafs Lager? Rod, how cool is it that we have our own beer?
By the way, the beers are flowing here.
Mike, have you talked about the beer on the podcast
We have
yet?
been drinking heavily.
Not yet, but tell us about the beer.
So, when we bought this team, we bought it because of its importance to the community, its historical importance, but it wasn't lost on us that we're also buying a very important trademark, the Toronto Maple Leaf trademark, which is on our jerseys, it's on our merchandise, but now we also have a beer called Leaf Lager. It's going to be in the LCBO next year. If you want to get it now, you got to come down to here.
The hockey team doesn't even have this. We have it. Stein, you have it.
It's a great looking can.
I love it.
Right? It's a great looking can.
By the way, it tastes great.
So Left Field
and
makes
it's less
this beer.
filling.
Rod, something I never asked you about. I remember when we first started talking about this like 8 months ago, you actually, I don't know if you remember this, you were thinking maybe we should change the name of the team.
No.
Do you remember that?
No.
He's pleading insanity.
No, I just thought if the Maple Leafs hockey team came to us and said, hey, we want you to change the name of the team, and they were offering us maybe
$30 million?
Yes, I think we might take that. That's what I meant.
Well, I made a joke on Toronto Mike. That's why you bought the team.
But can I tell you another thing? Now that I see the logo and I see it on the jerseys, and the significance of this team and the history, this is going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs forever. Isn't that a song? Maple Leafs forever.
The Maple Leaf forever. Let me ask a few pointed questions here. First of all, Keith Stein, one question everybody wants to know is, why did you decide to buy the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team?
Rod and I talked about it a lot at the time.
And how did you meet Rod Black?
Yeah. Oh, there's a pointed freaking question.
But first, why do we want to buy this team?
Yeah.
There were many groups interested in buying this team, including a group that I just talked to last week that included one of the owners of the New York Yankees, the comedian actor Bill Murray. They put in a bid to buy this team.
Wow.
This team.
I didn't even know that. Bill Murray?
I just found out last week.
Bill Murray almost bought this team.
The Cinderella story. Here's the Cinderella story. The Toronto Maple Leafs Cinderella story.
Can you do your Charles Barkley now?
Folks, y'all, I'm telling you right now, here I am in Canada, I tell you, guaranteed the Maple Leafs win, man. Rob Black is here. I love Rob Black.
So this is Canada's oldest baseball team, one of the oldest sports teams in North America, period. 1896. The history of this team, Babe Ruth, everything. I can't believe we own it. I can't believe MLSE didn't buy this. I just think it's such an important asset. It's so important to the city of Toronto. But what we're going to do now is shine a spotlight on this thing. Jack Dominico did a fantastic job.
Yes.
But I think there are opportunities to create a larger platform here, and you're seeing the start of that today, right? It's really, I think, a new era, as Rod and I always talk about.
Whole new ball game.
You got Mother Nature on your side. This was a beautiful day. We're in the fourth inning, by the way, down 2-0, but I can see the crowd still very thick. The lineups for the left field beer and the dogs and all. What are we calling dogs now, Mr. Rod Black?
Yard darts. The yard dart.
The yard darts. I thought that was something else.
My kid came up with that.
I thought that was something else. But you got a great turnout. You got a beautiful day. We're going to keep the momentum going. I know every time I have a guest on Toronto Mike, then I give them that book. Their eyes get big like saucers. Like there's so much history. You heard the Adam Bunch episode, right, Keith?
I did. I loved it.
It's like just amazing the stories about this team. And we had the gentleman here, Jeremy Diamond, was just on the microphone. He's from the Canadian Baseball
He knows
Hall of Fame.
more about baseball than anybody.
Rod, are you in the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame?
No, but I'm going to host the induction ceremony in June 15th. 15th? No, June 15th.
Okay,
I've hosted it a few times. I've been to the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. I paid admission. I paid admission.
I had Stephen Brunt on this very microphone to start this podcast, and we got to get him in the baseball. We got some work to do.
Wait a second.
Rob Butler, too.
Rob Butler.
Rob Butler is who
Rod, how can he not be in the Hall?
So I have nominated Rob a couple of times, and we have had conversations. And Rob Butler, I mean, there are a lot of Canadian players, and nothing against Rob's playing ability, because Rob was a great player. And so I believe that Rob and Rich should go together, not only because they both played as brothers. Rob was the first Canadian to win a World Series like in forever.
But he's the only Canadian to win a World Series for a Canadian team.
But here's the rub, is that they should go in as also as builders, because of what they have done for amateur sport and continue to grow. See all these kids you're watching here today, and I call them kids even though they're in their sorry, I'm
I think you get nervous and you started turning this for something.
I don't know what I do.
You have
I'll just hold it like this. Here, I'll just hold it. There we go.
My goodness.
Anyway,
wow.
Is that terrible? So
Rod Black has dismantled my expensive mic. I have to send an invoice to you now.
So Rob and Rich, a lot of these players on this field, they have helped develop from a young age, from 7 to like 16.
What about your son?
My son as well. Tyler and Brody both. They went to see Rob and Rich, helped them along the path. I will tell you, a good chance that Tyler's not a big league or professional baseball player without Rob and Rich's influence. So yeah, I do believe they should be in. And have you been to the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame?
No.
It's in St. Mary's,
I'm
Ontario.
waiting to be inducted.
You indicted? you know.
That's for Peter. That's for Peter Gross.
You should be indicted. But have you been, Keith?
No.
Why don't you come?
Keith and I will go together.
I will. We will.
Road trip, buddy.
I will tell everybody, baseball fans out there, the induction weekend is absolutely magic. Paul Godfrey's going in this year.
Yeah.
Russ Martin's going in. Jimmy
Russell.
Yeah. And so it's a special place. It's where one of the first ever games was played in Canada. Beautiful diamonds, great people, and it's kind of Cooperstown North.
You said beautiful diamond? Well, enough about Jeremy, okay?
Well, perfect name for the guy, too. He was born.
I said. Keith, I got a question about Rik Emmett. So did you meet Rik Emmett from Triumph?
Keith Stein was in Triumph. Did you know that?
He's a roadie.
Keith Stein was
a roadie. By the way, we're about to witness
by the way,
yeah,
he was a little bit, and this is all Rod's fault, but I think, Rod, kudos, because Rik didn't want to sing the anthem.
This is exactly where I'm going.
I told him.
I got a phone call, I'll tell you. So Blair Packham from the Jitters, I hope to get him on the mic before I shut this down, but Blair Packham literally did an FOTM favor. He said, I'm going to drive to Burlington to pick up Rik Emmett, because Rik didn't want to drive to Christie and Bloor. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But he did. He went and picked up Rik Emmett.
He's a rock star.
Okay. So Blair gets Rik, who's a huge, I saw the guys here lining up with their records, their Triumph albums. Like, Rik Emmett is coming to be honored before this home opener of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Rik, on the phone on his way here, says, Blair says I might be singing the anthem. I don't want to sing the anthem. And I said, Rik, I asked you if you'd sing the anthem, and you said, no, thank you. And I passed that on to Keith Stein, owner of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I said, you won't be singing the national anthem. So pick up the story from there.
It was very organic, and I don't really think he felt like he was put on the spot. Because
he's a singer.
It was a bunch of us. It was Wendel, it was Rick Vaive, it was Rod. So he passed the mic along to all of us, and you know something? Emmett was at the end of the line, so he just got the mic. It was like a hot potato. He sang a few words, and then gets us the fuck away from me.
It sounded a lot like Lay It on the Line, though.
Yes.
Lay it on the line. Great Triumph song. Good call back there.
But Mike, did he have a good time?
He had a great time.
Yeah.
He had a great time.
Wasn't any
What a
blowback,
nice
though.
guy.
No blowback.
Well, I'm going to find out later, right? Like, in the moment, because he was on the mics, and here he was fine. Later, when I get the call, Mike, you promised me no anthem.
I hope we got
I'll
him the
eat that
swag,
one.
but we owe him a ton of stuff.
I told him, I said, did you get your stuff?
Tell him to send the
we owe him a
check
bunch
to
of
Stein.
stuff.
$10,000 anthem.
I told him we'd take care of him, so we're going to take care of Rik Emmett. That is for sure. But Rod, I'm glad I could connect you with Keith Stein. You could be a part of this ownership group. Keith, so this day met your expectations? I need to know.
So look behind you. There's a lineup at the concession stand. Do you know why? We have great food this year, provided by Left Field Brewery. Fantastic food. Look over there. We have a place where you can buy beer. We have people going across the hill hawking beer. We have beer in Christie Pits. You realize this was not an easy thing to get done. We only bought the team 6 months ago.
Right.
We had to do a city hall. There were many hoops we went through. So we've changed the experience already in a short time.
Yeah, I saw signs around the perimeter where, like, basically you could only drink alcohol in this part, and it's amazing that you can, without having to worry about the fuzz, right, Rod? You can actually sit on the.
Well, I think there's some people who are imbibing in something else who aren't worried about the fuzz. Well, then again, it's legal.
They're unsanctioned. Okay.
But you know what I love?
What?
Those guys. I'm going to go up and hang for a couple innings with the Bushmen. The Bushmen epitomize what the Maple Leafs are about. I listened to them earlier. They are unbelievable. They got the best
tell us
shirts.
a little more about, the Bushmen.
I got the chance. Keith and I both got a chance to meet them over the last few months as the ownership group started to take formation. And they are passionate. They keep coming out here. They hang in the bush, you can see, and all they do is chirp the other team. They have got the greatest, cleanest chirps. They're not rude. There's no profanity.
Right.
And they are vicious, and I love it. And so they're really good people. I mean, everybody here, I say back to Keith and the ownership group, the fantastic job that everybody did today, putting this together, the volunteers, Sherry Butler, can't say enough about what she has done, the opening ceremony, the game is fantastic, and let's just say, Keith, let's do it for another 20 games. And here's my other thing. I didn't get in it to become a part-time owner or help with, we want to grow baseball in urban Toronto. We want to win. We want to win a championship.
Absolutely, Rod. Yeah.
We want to win. And we got the manager, we got the team. We're behind right now, but
and
2-0.
Cool uniforms out. The jersey, Rod, you love them, don't you?
I tell you what, I like the baby blue ones.
Yeah.
The players, I was in the locker room earlier. Wendel Clark and I went in talking to some of the players. They were really impressed to see Clarkie there.
Wow.
And so many of them look barely old enough to shave, but they were so jacked about the uniforms and the way they fit, and they love drip. That's the age they love the drip. And so it's a great day. It's a great day for baseball. It's a great day for the Maple Leafs. It's a great day for Toronto.
And it's a great day for the Toronto Mike podcast.
Keith, Rod, would you mind just teasing what we can expect in the future? Is there any? I know, Rod, when you were on the program, which people love your appearances on Toronto Mike, by the way, future FOTM Hall of Famer.
There's one Hall of Fame I'll get to. Good.
There's the one
I
for you.
don't have to pay in to get into.
But like enhancements to upgrading scoreboards and things like that. Like, is there anything we can tease to look forward to in Toronto Maple Leafs baseball at Christie Pits?
Well, I think we've talked about it. I mean, again, the scoreboard. Listen, hear that? That's the Bushman.
That's the Bushman.
I love them.
Listen to that. Okay. We're in the fifth inning, by the way.
I think there are more enhancements. I think, as we're saying goodbye to Jeremy Diamond. See you.
Why, Jeremy?
Baseball Diamond.
Did you change your name when you got involved with baseball?
Yeah.
Let me see your birth certificate.
Jeremy, once again, Butler in the Hall of Fame soon, please.
Come on.
Yes, it's better than Jeremy home base, but it's okay.
He says, can we get off Butler in the Hall of Fame already?
Yeah. Enhancements, I think, we as an ownership group, we've talked about it. The number one thing that we talked about was the audio. Fixed.
And?
Fixed.
$30,000 later.
Yeah. So
that's how much we invested in a new sound system.
So we're going to do more. And I think more entertainment, Keith? I think we'd like to bring some jumpy castles, get the more kids here, maybe do, again, some kids' games after camps, clinics,
very, very kid-focused and friendly. But
so my two little kids are here. They were part of that ceremony. In fact, I was going to close with them, but I can't actually find them. Okay, they're going to be here in 5 minutes. So you two are dismissed in 5 minutes when I put my kids in the mic. But they had a great time.
Going forward, Mike.
Yep.
So count on the best food in baseball, and you can go to a J game. You can come here for $20. You can have a great afternoon.
No comparison.
No charge for high quality baseball.
Better parking.
Better food. Better parking. Better beer, I think. But there's beer now. There's great food, and look at. Rod's going to be here almost every game. He brought out Rik Vaive. We brought out Wendel Clark.
Unbelievable.
Rik Emmett. Every single game you're going to see special people, celebrity guests. This is just the start.
We want to bring Fergie Jenkins. We want to have days to celebrate Canada
I want
Day.
Cisco to come.
Can we do this? I'll tell you the days, Rod and Keith, the days I'll be here recording. Now that we figured out the electricity, I'll be here. So one day at least every month of the IBL season, I'm going to be here recording. Those are the days I want Fergie Jenkins.
And Rod Cito.
Cito Gaston will be here.
Oh, Cito!
Yeah,
We need
Cito will
Cito
be
to
here.
My manager.
Yes.
I think, we'll get Cito and Fergie on a day. We want to honor the great baseball players and the former Toronto Maple Leaf hockey players. And by the way, Jackie, a lot of people also don't know, Jackie Robinson once wore a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey.
I didn't know that.
I saw the photo.
Yeah, in an All-Star game. He had finished, he was retired, but he came back and he wore a Maple Leafs jersey in an All-Star game.
You're bringing out Ernie Witt to which game?
Ernie Witt, we're not still quite sure. It'll be probably, I think it's going to be around Hall of Fame weekend.
Okay. But Mike, not that we're elitist, but we do have a special tent here. And this tent,
Yes.
I think, is going to be sort of the place to hang out.
The members lounge.
If we get a hot tub, I'm in every game.
Yeah.
We should get a hot tub, too.
He'll never leave the damn park. Him and the raccoons here.
And I see Hebscher standing here. We want Hebscher and Peter Gross.
And there's Brad Jones from Ridley Funeral Home, looking great. Brad Jones, a member of the team.
Oh, there is. Is he's from Ridley?
Ridley Funeral Home.
on.
He owns Ridley Funeral Home.
Oh, nice.
Rod Black.
Hey, can I pre-book a casket?
Can I pass my mic?
All right, so first of all, Keith, thanks for this. You're the man behind this whole thing here, man.
Well, thanks for
Great
hooking
FOTM.
me up with Keith Stein.
Look, we'll talk later about my cut of that connection, okay,
Hey,
Rod?
thank you for coming,
Rod,
Mike.
congrats to your son.
Thanks.
That's amazing you got to be
it's
there for
really
that
cool.
moment.
It's really cool. And you know what? Second only to this. Being with you at center field at a Maple Leafs home opener.
Can we win this game, though? It's 3-0.
Yeah. Go Leafs, go.
Go Leafs, go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rod Black. Brad, you know these microphones. Get right on that because Keith was more interested in staring into Rod Black's beautiful eyes than he was directing himself towards the microphone there. But Brad, how's it going? How is your Sunday going? You're at Christie Pits. How's it going, bud?
It's fantastic. It's nice to be at the ballpark and get a VIP treatment. Get to get on the mic next to you.
What does that mean? Do they give you back rubs between innings? Like, what is the VIP treatment? I want that.
I got a couple, brown pops, no charge.
Okay.
I got paraded on the field with all the ownership and the other sponsors, which was pretty nice. It was, up close and personal with Wendel Clark and Rik Vaive.
Okay, what did you think? Because I put them on these mics. What was it like meeting Wendel Clark and Rik Vaive?
For me, Rik Vaive was the player I used to watch when I was a kid. Like he was such an amazing player. Mike Palmateer was my favorite. And
Absolutely.
Ian Turnbull was. I used to play defense before I went to goalie, so that's who I used to follow. But Rik Vaive was the heart of the Leafs, and he was the captain, right? So it meant a lot to meet him and. Wendel Clark. It was watching him play all the way through the '90s and. Such a great player.
Yeah, I know. I was sitting. He was right there on the mic, and at the time, you gave me my chair. Okay, so I don't know where you found that chair. Nobody could find a chair for me. I was on my knees here, and then Wendel was to my left, and I was like, "Is this moment happening?" Like I'm in center field here at Christie Pits. Wendel Clark is chatting me up. I'm on my knees, like talking to our captain, Wendel Clark. What a moment. And then I see this, my savior, Brad Jones, comes in. He's got a chair for me. So thanks for that, buddy.
Yeah, that was easy. It was just sitting over there empty, and Monica and I was talking, and she's like,
come on, who do I have
like,
to...
he doesn't have a chair. She said, well, there's one right there. I'm like, so I just walk over and I took it. I don't know whose it was.
No, you did the right thing there. I mean, come on, Wendel Clark making mistakes. Well, I did give Wendel that was my seat because Peter Gross is the perfect height to stand and be on the mic here. I think we've lost Peter here. It's all a blur. I've been recording now. I'm going to wrap up in a moment, but I've been recording for an hour. I want a ball over the fence. Like I want a ball to land right there. So Brad, we need some offense here. They're starting to look like that other Toronto baseball team. Although they did score double-digit runs last night, so maybe I should stop.
Yeah, well, they're losing today.
They were down 7-1 yesterday too. But they came back yesterday. But this is all about Toronto Maple Leafs baseball. So it's awesome. It's amazing because you were on Toronto Mike last week kicking out the 10 most requested funeral songs. The biggest fan of My Way by Frank Sinatra was just here. It was Steve Paikin. Base hit for the Leafs. This is going to be the inning. Maybe we'll call it with a big inning here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But it's amazing that you're a part of this whole thing. Like you're the official funeral home of Toronto Maple Leafs baseball.
Yeah, and the whole idea is that when the Toronto Maple Leafs win, we're going to help bury the competition. But, they got a ways to go the next few innings to pull this game out. Let's hope they do.
Yeah, here we are in the 5th inning. It's 3-0 for the guests, we'll call them, because I'm not 100% sure who we're playing today. Who are we playing?
We're playing London.
London. I see. I should know these things, but I've been busy here. Okay, so Brad, you know this person here, this young lady. This is my 8-year-old Morgan. There's my 10-year-old Jarvis. Okay, here's how we're going to close this thing, because I'm going to wrap it up. So shout out to Ridley Funeral Home, pillars of the community since 1921.
Almost as old as the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball
you're not
team.
that old. Okay, good to see you. Pass your headphones to Monica, who's behind you. I want Monica on the mic. And Jarvis, you go here. Put this on. This will be brief. We're going to do and Morgan, you can go beside Jarvis right here. So sit here for a second. This will be harmless. Don't worry, babe. Okay. Don't worry. So get right in front of the mic. Happy Mother's Day to my wife, Monica. Monica, you having a good day at the ballpark?
Yes, it's beautiful weather. It's actually nice for me.
Yeah, because you like it, you like it really hot, right? Like if it's 15 degrees, you're going to put on a jacket, right?
Yeah.
Or thereabouts. So your children are here.
Yep.
By the way, you have gorgeous children. Jarvis and Morgan, can you give us just a quick summary of what you guys did? I saw you on the field, but maybe take that out of your mouth because you got to... Just tell us what you did, Jarvis.
So we did. We went to the.
Can you take it out of your mouth?
No. Okay, fine.
Thank you. Now say it on the mic what you did.
We went into the field, and we tried to get the players to sign our balls. And
did you get any autograph?
No, they didn't. The person that was leading us to the players didn't know who was gonna sign it, so it wasn't really working out for us.
Okay, in front of the mic though, Morgan.
We got fist bumps.
You got fist bumps. Okay.
I got a special fist bump for having a Ronaldo jersey on.
Oh my goodness! So you had a good time being part of that ceremony.
Yeah, but we didn't get our balls signed. Yeah, so sad.
But you're having a fun time.
Yeah.
Okay, are the Maple Leafs gonna come back and win this game? Hopefully, right?
Yeah, I love the Maple Leafs.
Okay. Do you want to say anything special to your mommy on this very special
Mother's Day? I have something special to say.
What?
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
I love you, Mommy.
I love you.
Thank you, Monica. Thanks for being here.
Having a wonderful day.
I was just with Keith.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I was just with Keith Stein, the owner, and he wanted to make sure you were taken care of because they were taking care of the mothers. Were you taken care of?
We actually stepped away for a bit. So
okay, because it's happening in this tent to my right, and it's not too late. I'm going to wind this down, and we'll make sure that you are taken care of. What? You say it on the mic.
Okay, but you know the manager?
Yeah, Rob Butler.
Do you think where is he? I want him to sign
He's literally managing the game right now. So when the game is over, if we're still here, we can absolutely can introduce you to Rob Butler.
Where was he in the game?
You know, he won the World Series in 1993.
Is he playing the game?
No, he's managing the game, so he's in the dugout.
Playing the game.
You see the dugout with all the Maple Leafs in it? Yeah. He's in there managing the team. Okay. He's managing the game.
He's like coaching the game?
Yeah.
Oh, then why do you say manager when he's the coach?
Well, in hockey, it's manager. Okay, it's he's the manager. He's the head manager.
There's no such thing as a hockey coach.
This is baseball. Okay, back to Monica just here, but we say goodbye on this Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Okay, we got two on.
They're
sending them. They're going home. Okay, the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs are on the board.
Woo!
The crowd. There's a good crowd here. Monica, what do you think?
We're destroying
Over 1,000
them.
people here today. What would you guesstimate?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Looks like
it's a
it?
perfect day for it.
And you're having a good time. Will you be back to see any other Maple Leaf action this season?
Most likely. It's only going to get warmer from here, so probably.
It's only
It
going
looks like it's going to rain behind us.
Is that right? It looks like it's going to rain. All right.
I love this music.
We're going to wrap up here because when I look around, I got Hebscher on. I'm going to see I got Paikin on. I got Gross on. I got Monica on.
You got me on.
I got Wendel Clark on. I got Vaive on. I got Rik Emmett on. Didn't get Blair Packham on. My apologies to Blair. You disappeared. I got Jarvis on. I got Morgan on. I got Keith Stein on. I got Rod Black on. This was got the Jeremy from the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. This was an absolutely successful first recording at Christie Pits. Just to let everybody know, I will return on June 2nd. So come on out. I'd like to set up by 2 p.m. Looks like I'll be in the outfield. and I will be recording at 2 p.m. June 2nd, 2024 at Christie Pits. No ticket required. Everybody is welcome. Great food, great beer, great atmosphere. We're going to go all the way this year. Drop by, say hi, and that brings us to the end of our 1,487th show. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky. I'm all over the place at Toronto Mike. Much love to those who made this possible. That is Great Lakes Brewery, Palma Pasta, RecycleMyElectronics.ca, Raymond James Canada, the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team, Moneris, and Ridley Funeral Home. We just had Brad Jones on. Did you say hi to Brad? Yeah?
I did.
See you all next week.
Yeah, see you next week, everybody.
It's been 8 years of laughter and